Episode 116 of the Wilderness Podcast is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. Support the show at patreon.com/thewildernesspodcast. Our supporter of the week is Anthony Martinez. We're also brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/wild to get a free month and a free audiobook. Welcome to episode 116 of the Wilderness Podcast. I'm your host, Dilz, and with me is Deagin.
Hey, how's it going?
So this is our year in review episodes. We have a lot to go over. First things first, we'll be tackling our resolutions from last year, as well as some of the listeners who submitted them last year, their resolutions. We'll go over that and see what progress was made. As for news and updates, nothing really went on from Jagex's end. But from the community, we see Link's Titan finally hit a giant milestone in Oldschool Runescape. And if you remember from when Theater of Blood was about to be released and they were proposing a bunch of armors, they had a set of 3 different styles that kind of were Dark Souls, sort of. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They look like something from Dark Souls. No, not Dark Souls, probably more like Bloodborne. Anyways, there's a little update on that and why they didn't bring those ones out and what might happen with that design, because a lot of people seem to like it. And finally, we're going to go through a bunch of the big updates this year, and I have a little survey I put together. So we'll be discussing all the different topics and basically discussing what we believe is the best of 2018 for each category. And last but not least, we are going to be introducing a brand new segment to the show. So listen on to hear which that segment's going to be about. Anyways, enough of that. Let's jump into what you have done this week. Anything exciting?
Not really. I played some new-ish game that came out on Early Access.
Oh, the Early Access saga continues.
Oh, yeah. It's called Blackout Club. It's like a co-op thriller game, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah, you're like I don't know. I don't really know the story because it's like they don't really flesh it out too much, but it's like weird shit is going on in the town. People like sleepwalk and what, I don't know. That's pretty much it.
Is it an RPG or is it one of those story-based games?
It's like it's got some RPG elements to it, but the whole thing is that like you and hopefully your friends, like you guys are like kids, part of this blackout club.
True.
And like you just creep around at night and you have to like get evidence of stuff. You have like these random tasks that you do each night. Yeah, I don't know. It's really fun. The only issue is that if someone in your group is really bad at the game, then it's super hard because it's stealthy and shit, right? You should be creeping around. It's night.
True.
Breaking into people's houses, gathering evidence on stuff, but then you get people that are like not good at the game and they like sprint around. They're like getting caught 30 times. And there's like this mechanic where if you like stir up enough trouble and get caught enough, then there's like this like otherworldly being that chases you and your friends around. And it adds a lot of difficulty and like some of the scariness, I guess, to the game. Pretty fun game though. And then I got this new single player game called Ashen.
All right.
Which is...
I've never heard of either of these games.
Yeah, well... So Ashen's an early access... No, I'm kidding. It's like an RPG. It's very Dark Souls-esque.
Okay.
The same type of like play style. It's got some like cool co-op features as well. Aesthetically though, like one of like my most favorite... Like it's probably my favorite game in terms of like aesthetics and like game... art, game design, not gameplay wise, but like, you know what I mean? Like how the game looks.
Okay.
It's like, if you ever play like Firewatch or something where like it's got like this weird Polygon-esque graphic. I don't know. It's really cool though.
Does it have like an old school look?
No.
Yeah, I don't really know what you're talking about. It's got
its own like different look. It looks similar to like something out of like Lone Dark or Firewatch, I guess. I don't know. It's like
none of these games.
If you like look up a picture of Ashen, you'll like see the like artwork, and it's like minimalistic polygons. people don't have faces, but like
What?
it looks really good though.
Okay, well, let me look this up real quick. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying now that I'm looking it up. It's kind of creepy that they don't have faces. It's just a blank.
I guess if you just like look at a picture, but like in the game itself, it works really well. And like music and all this, and like I don't know, the game is like super well done, and it's awesome because like as you go through the game, it's like Dark Souls, but there's like more of like the progression is done in a different way. Like you start off and you kind of like build up a town as you do like specific quests and stuff. So it kind of feels more RPG, even though there's like no leveling. Like you don't level up your character. You like do quests, and that like kind of constructs your town, and like it's cool. Like as you go along through the game, it actually feels like the town's alive, and you start off with this encampment you clear bandits out of, and then like as you go through, it slowly like turns into like an actual town where you're getting people and people to trade with. And there's a game called Journey, which is like an exploration game, and it's like best way I can describe it, it's like Dark Souls meets Journey or Abzu.
The names are familiar, but I've never played them or seen them.
True. Okay. Well, anyways, I've been playing that a bunch. Playing a bunch of Path of Exile. Well, not so much recently, but I was playing a bunch. And
what happened to Warframe? You were going hard on that, and then you just stopped for Path of Exile.
Yeah, because the big Path of Exile update came out.
Is that all it was? There was nothing in Warframe that turned you off?
No. I actually started like getting deeper into Warframe as the new update came, and then I just
jump ship.
Yeah, I mean, I'll still play it at some point, but like, you know, you got to play all the games, you got to beat them all.
Yep, clear out that Steam library.
Yeah. I think that's it. Like just like work stuff. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. What about you?
Fun. Let's see. The Christmas holidays are finally over. Haven't played a whole lot of RuneScape during the holidays. There's a new lady in my life, and I had spent the holidays basically with her and over at her family's house, which is actually a really good time. They're really nice people. But that also means I didn't have many opportunities to sit down and play some RuneScape. I'm not necessarily complaining, though. But yeah, I tackled a little bit over the past couple days, I guess. Finished off my Cerberus kills. Nothing notable there. Just like, I got Eternals, which are nice. 2 Smoldering Stones. You know, 5, 6, 7 miller. It's not bad.
Yeah, you know.
Nothing crazy.
Just hitting like a couple 1 and 5 12s in a task. Not a big deal.
It's good. But knowing that I could have landed on those Primordials.
Or Pegasians.
Yeah, or Pegasians. That's the thing. If you don't know, Primordials are worth, 25 mil now? Pegasians are worth like 100k. And they're all the same drop rate. So, yeah, if you get those Pegasians, you know you're so close to getting that 20 mil. But really, that's it. Some Slayer. I'll hop on mobile every now and then and do a farm run because, well, I was going to say it'd be nice to start getting it towards 99, at least getting it up for when the new farming guild comes out. But then I realized as I ran out of my saplings, my magic saplings and all the other good stuff, I noticed that the prices had jumped up a shit ton for anything related to do with farming. Of course, because people are on that fast grind to get their farming up before the update comes out. So I might have to taper off of that for a little bit until the farming guild comes out because, yeah, you're going to be spending like double the price of what everything is. Even coconuts, things like coconuts, something that you trade in so that your magic trees don't die. Those have doubled in price. I mean, I guess it's kind of obvious, right?
Yep.
You can kind of see that one coming. But really, that's about it. I got school coming up in a couple days. So I'll be back in there, back to the studying, which is, I'm kind of excited for it, but you know, it's just schoolwork.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, let's swing over to not the news, but we'll talk about our resolutions of last year and our resolutions for this year.
Uh-oh.
All right, so Deagin, your first resolution in regards to real life.
So this year I have some more resolutions,
But I'll just start. I have like 3 sections. I have combat, like just overall account stuff.
Is this
I have
real life
PvP
or
and PvM.
RuneScape?
This is RuneScape.
Oh, your real life combat.
Spoilers, I don't really have any real life resolutions. Because I typically, like, forget about them the next day. I mean, just
your real life resolution is to do less of real life.
Yeah, exactly. Just focusing on RuneScape this year, you know? Check.
It's good, it's good. All right, let's go into your combat resolution.
For my overall account stuff, I want to get 99 Slayer. No 99 Slayer.
All right. What level are you at in Slayer?
98. I'm like 400-ish K away. I could crank that out in like 2 days if I wanted to.
Not bad. Okay, true.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what else you got next.
Just gonna have to play. And I'd like 126 combat.
Fair enough.
So that's pretty much just getting 99 prayer as well. Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I got that before I quit. When did I get that? November? October?
Was 99 Slayer all you needed to get 126 combat?
Slayer isn't combat.
Sorry, not Slayer, prayer.
At the time, no. At the time, I was maxed melee, and was my range max at the time? I don't think so. I need a mage and prayer for sure.
Okay, so you got all those checked off. And then I guess your last one for combat.
And I'd also like to be able to unlock all the prayers. So Rigor, Augury, pretty much. Those 2. Yeah.
Yeah, you got those. Got both those prayers done. I guess that was kind of a given. All right, well, let's see what about your PvP resolution. You had a lot this year, so shit. Let's see.
PvP. I'd like to be able to be like confident in my ability to tribrid. I definitely improved a lot in terms of like I could kill people if we're like I've beat people with better gear. You know, when I go and just do my little PK sessions, I've had like some decent sessions where I have good fights, but I would still consider myself really bad. I would kind of cheat. As in, I wouldn't be optimally, like, switching prayers in terms of, like, my my DPS, or my damaging prayers, like Augury, Piety, and Rigor.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes, like, if someone was, like, out switching me, I would just throw on, like, either Augury if I know I needed to hit, like freezes at the time, or I would just keep on Piety knowing, like, alright, so I'm gonna do this, and this, and then I'm gonna go in for the spec, or, like, whip hit or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should ramble on about this, but things I noticed, which was like, mage capes are so fucking valuable.
Mage cape 2.
Just the mage cape in general.
Yeah.
I didn't do too many sessions risking mage cape 2.
Such a stupid name.
What else would you call it? Imbued
the second
cape?
magic. Yeah, I guess that's what it is.
That's what I should be calling it, but mage cape 2. Duh.
So yeah.
Because, like, when I first started Bridding, I would just bring, like, the Avas, just because it's, like, worst case scenario, just throw on your tank gear and just rag them and run.
Yeah. And
then, I don't know, just eventually you realize, like, you actually hit way more freezes if you just bring that cape. Like, it's noticeable difference, and so I guess I would say yeah, but no at the same time, because obviously, like, I'm still pretty bad, but I did learn.
You got better.
Yeah, I did learn a lot, but still not good.
Do you think a lot of that came from your PVMing abilities?
It helps knowing, like, switches and stuff.
Yeah.
But the only difference is, like, when you, like, I like to have my, like, if you ever watched me do, like, my solar raids and shit on like, stream or anything like that, I organize, or just raids in general, I organize my gear in very, very specific ways, and you can't really do that for PvP.
Yeah, it's hard because they all get switched around. You don't have time to reorganize it every time.
They get switched around, and depending if you're tri-bridding or, like, hybriding, or, like, you're just doing edge, sometimes, like, I noticed, like, depending on what I'm bringing and, like, what the situation is, it might be better to actually have your gear in a line, because you want to be able to click down and then hit your like mage spell book and then click. You know what I mean? Like just keep your mouse going down in one motion instead of like zigzagging in a square, which is how I would do it. I'd do like Z formations.
Yeah, that's what I
in
did
a square because it's better for your wrist. I heard. So
okay.
So like kind of it does help in terms of just like switching, but like yeah, it doesn't always like carry through because you have to like. Depending like, oh, I have a Gmaul or like an AGS or something, you definitely want that like on your spec bar so you can like one tick.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so I guess it did kind of help a bit.
And I guess your pure resolution?
And then another one is, I've mentioned this before, but I want to get my Zerker account started and PK ready.
Yeah, so my Zerker, I don't even think I really touched it.
True.
Because I remember when I made the Obby Mauler, I made a really big fuck up. And instead of me just like restarting and turning it into a Zerker, I found a way I could like salvage the account by like grinding for 80 hours and like balancing all the stats out.
Okay.
Because what I had done was I'm really cheap when it comes to bonds. And I don't like wasting like let's say, oh, I know I needed 40 fire making for like this, right? For whatever. Or let's say I'm like for my hardcore Iron Man, I knew I needed like 55 fire making for Wintertot or whatever. So I did that in free to play, so I don't waste my membership, my bond.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's like it would save me time, but I'm just cheap like that. And so I did that. I splashed like my magic level that I needed for the Slayer staff, but you're not supposed to do that when you're making an Obby Mauler. You're supposed to like train it through Slayer, blah 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 blah. And then I went and did like every fucking quest I could. I still actually need to do my myth gloves for my Obby Mauler. It's the only thing that's left on him. And then he's like 100% completed. Just need 99 strength. And I did that so I could go to Fossil Island. Yeah, so I didn't really work on the Zerker at all because I just decided to kind of get my Obby Mauler
Focus more on that guy.
Yeah, and then I made like a baby pure that I haven't really played too much of.
Just a baby tribrid pure, like one defense, anything else goes?
Kind of, yeah. And like for that guy, I haven't played him because I have other goals, which were like do things like just try and get a fire cape as low as possible.
Right,
so
okay.
I worked on that a couple times. Just like working through like random little things on that account, so I don't really want to push that one too much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I didn't really play the Zerker. He's still like in the very early stages.
Fun. Okay, next is your PVM resolutions. Cool.
And then PVM. So I have 250 raid kill count.
Yeah, I got 346 raid kill count. I did like 250-ish solo.
Damn.
Small, maybe like 5 or 6 free-for-alls, maybe less, maybe like 4. Because free-for-alls suck.
Yeah.
The only times I've done free-for-alls, one is with my one buddy who just straight up leeched, and then he got kicked, and then they're like, who's Deagin? He's like, oh, that guy brought him. And they're like, oh, Deagin points. And I like type my points, and they're like, oh, okay, you can stay with us. I'm like, all right. And then the other times were like with a streamer, and I ended up like carrying the group hard. Like I might have even mentioned an older podcast where I had like, there was 12 people in there and I had a third of the points.
Damn.
And like, I'm not a good, like in terms of like, it's not me being like, watch out kid, I'm so good. You know, I'm not like some epic elite gamer. It was like, they didn't know how to do the shamans. They all ran out of supplies. So I went and got them all in a safe spot and then just safe spotted like 5 fucking shamans and then did the, you know what I mean? Like it was just stuff like that. But yeah, I got that one done. That one took me like half the year. If you guys remember last year, I spent like 6 months grinding out solo raids.
Yeah, you're doing 250 solos? I did like 20 and I was sick of them.
Yeah.
Done.
Did 250. My very first one's on my stream and super poor quality. I just wanted to stream my first solo. It was like 3 hours long.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
And then now I can do them in like 45 minutes.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I haven't done a raid in a long time, but my first solo raid went about 3 hours too. I don't even think I finished. I think I dropped out because I just died like 20 times. My points were at 0.
Yeah.
All right, well, next one, which I'd be surprised if you got this one. But anyways.
I put 3,000 kill count for Cerberus.
Yeah, I'm at 2,406 or 2,446.
God damn, I guess you're getting close.
I'm 2 tasks away, pretty much 2.5 tasks away.
Wow.
Yeah. So like, if it could have been done if I didn't take this hiatus because I was grinding out like mad Serb kills before I stopped playing. But yeah, no, I didn't get that one.
Yeah. Damn, a lot higher than I thought it would be. All right, and then your last for the PVM.
But my last one is like a huge question mark. It's a really, really big question mark if I could actually do it.
Okay.
And
nice.
I'd really like to be able to get that Inferno Cape by the end of the year.
Yeah, this one was like, I'm going to throw it up there just in case I get like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was just me reaching for the stars and no, but I could attempt it. Like I do, like I don't have a T-bow, but you don't need one to like get an Inferno Cape. But I have the means to get like everything. I have everything else. I could sell off like some random like one-off pieces of PVM gear and buy a full Justice R if I wanted to, and then just go do it. But yeah, I don't want to.
It's a big task to take on because it's like 2 hours per run.
It's not that. It's that I could sit down for like, let's just say 6 months, and I just sit there and grind it in my free time. But then once I get it, I feel like that really means I have nothing to look towards playing. You know what I mean?
Beat the game.
In terms of like, well, what else would motivate me, right?
Yeah, sure.
So I'm kind of leaving it on the back burner for like a 1 day type thing.
Fair enough. And then now onto your skill resolutions. You just had the one.
And then my last goal,
Holy shit.
which is I want to get 99 Hunter.
Nope. I'm at 83. I did the math actually before I stopped playing, and I would have been able to get 99 Hunter at the start of December. And I started it. I did like 5 or 6 levels. And I just really wasn't digging it.
Yeah.
Black Chins is super boring, and then you get hit by a team.
True.
And you're like, all right, they're going to get like 300k. It's not a big deal. But then you live, and you're like, that's cool. Like, I never died once doing Black Chins. But like, I want to just like put on a podcast, like audibletrial.com/wild, listen to a like audiobook or something. But you can't just zone out and like tick manipulate the whole time.
Yeah.
You're kind of like staring at the mini map, waiting for like a dude with like D claws to rush you and try and rainbow spec you.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was just doing Herbivore because like it's more chill and there's a pet that I want from it. But yeah, I was just like, man, I don't really like. I don't care enough. Like the cape is nice, but like this is a month of me doing something I don't like for a cape that I'm gonna wear. You know what I mean? Once or twice when I'm bank standing.
Yeah, it seems like that goal is for when you're ready to max your account completely.
Yeah, even then though, I would probably do agility first. Like if I were to like start maxing, I would start off with agility, but doing the math, it's like for me where I'm at like 6 days straight.
For what?
Agility training.
Oh, that's what you need?
That's the amount of time is 6 days straight, no sleep, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when you say it like that, it's that's a little demotivating.
It's just like, well, and Netflix will only take you so far.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that'd be a tough one. All right, well, let's jump over to my resolutions. Let's see, my real life resolutions. Well, firstly, I'm going to need to go on a diet, but I want to get my kind of like my real life on track. So the diet I never really got into. I kind of got into it in October, but that was about it. Then I dropped it in November.
Cheat month.
Cheat 2 months. It's the end of the year. May as well end it with a lot of junk food, and you can't diet over the holidays. Like being at my girlfriend's parents' house, they fed me so many butter tarts. Like, it was nonstop. I felt like I was going to throw up for like the whole 2 weeks. It was fucked. It was great, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then life on track. I guess I kind of did because I'm back in school now, right? That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Quit my job. Yeah. All right. Let's. But anyways, RuneScape stuff. Let's see what's up with that. And for RuneScape, I do want to get Max Combat. That would be really awesome to get. No. Okay. So for Max Combat, no, I didn't get that. So I am 3 levels shy. I'm level 123. But I did max out almost all of my combat-related skills, except for Magic and Prayer. I'm at 98 Magic, so that's getting there slowly. And then 77 Prayer, so not even really close, but...
A lot of money.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's the money thing.
What, 50, 60 mil?
Yeah, that's what's holding me back is the money for that. Anyways, more for PVM. Like, using that combat, I want to be able to tackle each part of, like, RuneScape in the sense of, like, PVMing. I want to be able to be pretty good at raids, pretty good at, like, every boss out there. When the new raids come out, I want to be able to do that on, like, day one and being able to, get decent at that. So I have been able to tackle basically all the other bosses in old school RuneScape. I don't think there's any boss that I haven't done. Except for, like, I haven't done Byrofita. That's the only one, but it's just I haven't really felt the need to. But, I started tackling Chambers of Zarek as well. I'm at like 60 kill count or something, so not a whole lot, but a fair enough that I know what I'm doing. And I tried to do Theater of Blood day one, but I really didn't make it far at all. So I ideally...
Third room, day one?
Yeah, I guess it's something, but... I know when I made that resolution, I was hoping I could be sitting down to tackle it seriously. But then again, almost no one is able to do that because it took, 2 days, 2 or 3 days for someone to complete Theater of Blood?
Was it?
Yeah, it wasn't completed day one. Because I remember it was like Bodhi's team and then... Oh, I'm drawing a blank, but it was a PVM clan. They were going hard at it too. And the first day it was like they're pretty... face to face on who was going to complete it. I think they got to the 3rd phase.
Oh yeah, it started with an M. It's like the name Michael something comes to mind, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Mike, something like that.
But I do remember going to bed when Theater of Blood was out, thinking I'd wake up and see someone had completed it, but nope, no one had completed it.
Mm-hmm.
And Bodhi and Wooks' team, they were still going at it, and yeah, they were the first ones to complete it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so they got it day 2 or day 3 or something, but... Anyways, yeah, there's no chance in hell I was going to be farming that one. Anyways, and the last bit of PVM was... I would love for this, by next year, to be at least being able to do Inferno. So I want the gear so that I could actually potentially do that. Whether or not my skills to do it is there yet, that's another question, but... So I guess technically I'm ready to try Inferno, but I'm nowhere close to getting that cape. I don't have any of the gear.
So you're not ready.
I mean, I have 2 fire capes, so I could walk in there if I wanted to.
Okay, I guess. Loopholes.
Yeah. And then PvP stuff. Let's get into that. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to keep it for my RuneScape resolutions. I also want to get good at PKing, too. I want to be able to actually... go out there with confidence that I'm going to be able to kill some people. And like, if I get jumped, I'm not going to have like a panic attack and get killed right away. I don't recall doing much PKing this year at all. I might have done some Rev Caves with a bunch of people from the CC, but I don't recall doing many solo PKing. I think I did more the year before that. So that's a negative.
Yeah. Solo PKing is, how do I say this? AIDS. It's pretty awful because you're looking for someone with around your skill level, depending if you want to get kills, someone around your level that's shittier than you. If you want to get better, someone's a tiny bit better than you, but not too much, But what happens is that you start attacking a guy or girl, or PC, and then you're like, this is a good fight, and then like 8 people log on, and you're like, all right, time to run to 30 and telly. Like, that's just like,
Yeah, that does happen.
it happens all the time. Or, well, the very few times is you go into a bounty world and you camp near a multi-zone, but you sit in singles, and then you find the stupid idiot teammates, not teammates, the teams you fight where they think they can PJ in a bounty hunter world.
Right.
And then, like, you end up killing, like, 2 of them and one of them tellies. True story. It felt really good because they, like, try and PJ and, like, de-spear you into multi, but then they're just sitting there and you're getting free damage, and then he dies, and then you swap to the next guy, and then you feel really good. But usually you just get jumped on by a clan.
Yeah, that's the way she goes out there.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it, I am probably better at PKing than when I was just PKing in those few trips I had done in teams. But I would not consider myself good at all. Not even close. Anyways, the skilling resolutions of 2018 were...
Yeah, exactly.
I'd love to get 82 rune crafting. Luckily, I can say I did get 82 rune crafting.
Weren't we racing for that? Or was it 77? Well, air quotes racing, but we were both kind of doing it at the same time.
Yeah, we had the same goal, because I think it was both for Fremennik Elites.
I think so. I think the race was for blood runes. I was doing lava runes, you're doing Iranian altar.
Yeah.
But you had a head start, but I was like, oh, I need my EHP. You know, I was just like, I gotta get this done. Breaking my wrist for like a couple, my wrist was like sore for a couple days after it, but yeah, I remember that. We both got it to 77, and I think you got to 82 before me or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but
we were like, yeah, we were both kind of grinding at the same time.
yeah, so I did get 82 rune crafting, which is nice. That's good.
Yeah, forgot about it, and you're like, oh.
I accidentally got the resolution
Yeah.
done just because I think I had a master clue that required me to do the Fremennik Elites.
Yeah.
So that did work out. Anyways, what are your resolutions for 2019? Start off with real life. What do you got planned this year?
I'll probably steal your last year's resolution and say just get my life on track, I guess.
Oh, we're switching roles.
Well, like, let's be real. I spent 6 months last year only doing solo raids. Like, RuneScape might have been productive. Well, it depends who you ask, because my buddy made the same amount of gold twice that I made in 6 months, but in a day.
Staking,
getting scammed and losing it all. And then he staked up from like 100 mil to a T-bow, got scammed, lost his T-bow, staked up to another T-bow the next week, and got it again.
Jeez.
And I'm like, yeah, this PVM thing, not working out for me. But yeah, so I guess I can keep it loose like that. Like, I already have some, like, I don't even know how you would phrase it, like, seeds planted.
Well, when you say life,
seed in a couple spots.
Nice. Having some kids.
Well,
Is that what you mean by life on track?
Well, we gotta fix that issue before. No, but
So when you say life on track, what does that consist of? Because for me, mine was I was stuck in some job that I wasn't entirely thrilled with for the most part.
Yeah, so typically I try not to be like personal on the podcast, but like I did the math of if I were to be me like this forever, it wouldn't be good. Like, I did the math, and it was like, oh fuck.
As in every week you're like trying out these 2 new games, basically. Is that what you mean? Like for gaming wise?
Well, yeah, there goes all my income just trying out early access games that like flop.
That shit does get expensive. At least it's not loot boxes.
Well, okay, and I gotta cut out the loot boxes. No, I'm kidding. Actually though, I sold off, like, I might have mentioned, I sold off like all my CS skins because I was just done with that. I've talked about it before, just like a lot of gambling and all that shit. But and from me selling off all my skins, that funded my early access addiction for like, well, I still have some of the money left over, so it's still, my addiction to early access games are still being funded from CS.
Nice. It's good.
So kind of it pays to gamble, kids. Go to the duel arena today.
It's the worst that could happen.
Stake.com. What's the worst that can happen? But
It's a good moto.
I don't even know what we were talking about. But
life on track.
Yeah, so like I have some basic ideas of like what I want to do. I don't want to go too in detail, but it's like this is probably the year I should, fix some things.
Kind of figure out what direction you want to go in.
Yeah, like I don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot in general, and I do have like a decent idea of like what. Not exactly what like I'll be doing, but the question is like how I'll go about doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you're thinking of whether or not you should go back to school or something? Because you were in school for architecture. Strike happened in Ontario where all the colleges kind of shut down for how long? Like a month? More?
A little bit more. At least from like, I think it was all colleges were for like 6 weeks or something, I want to say.
I know it was long enough that it really screwed up a bunch of the semesters.
It screwed up last semester, and then this current semester of mine would have been really fucked too.
Yeah, because I know even I'm in radio broadcasting now, and the second year students were telling us that they lost like half of their classmates during that strike because everyone just said, "Screw it, I'm just dropping out, and I'll reassess the situation for another year."
I think I mentioned it, but the president of my college emailed all students saying, please stop dropping out. We'll fix it. We'll make it up to you guys. like we got a plea from the college president being like, you guys are we have to give you the money back.
Yep.
You guys are like, we're losing money, kids. Come on.
We're going to shut down.
Yeah.
Colleges and universities just won't exist in Canada anymore after this. So yeah, are your plans to go back to school? Is it to go back to school for architecture?
So at some point, to actually succeed, you do need like education
of some sorts. Yeah,
of some sorts. And the question is like how to go about it.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of different ways these days. You don't have to strictly do like a college course where you're in there for 2 years or so, right?
Yeah, and so the issue is like it's like. I have a good idea of what I want to do, and then it's like how to go about doing it, especially now where I have this job, but due to it being retail, I gotta get a second job. So now it's like, all right, so how do I juggle 2 jobs in school? It's kind of just like figuring it out. I have like I've been like working on how to go about it. It's just figuring out, like, I don't want to be like 3rd time's the charm. 4th time's the charm. I don't want to just like keep repeating the same mistakes. You know what I mean?
Like going back into school?
Well, school's not a mistake, but it's like how I guess I've been going about it. Maybe it was just bad timing, right? Mm-hmm. With the strike and everything that really fucked me. But figuring out the minimal risk type of a thing. You know what I mean?
It might just come down to finding something that you're going to be passionate about, and then when you do go back into school, you take online courses, or they have these things called boot camps now.
Yeah. I mean, I do like architecture, but as I look into like housing and construction, you look into like what's been going on in Canada without going too much into politics, but housing market was going to crash really hard and soon.
Yeah, in certain areas for sure, yeah.
And well, in the important areas. And the fact that, like, most likely outside of school, I'd be working in housing, which means most likely by the time I finish school, I wouldn't be able to find a job. Well, I would, but not really. Like it'd be a lot harder to find a job, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's kind of just figuring it out. I don't really want to be like too in depth about it.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
keep things a mystery.
Yeah, exactly. One day I'll be like, "Hey guys, I'm a doctor."
Just like that. Took an online course.
Yeah,
I'm a surgeon now.
I went out to international waters. You guys will just like, "Hey guys, Deagin here, back on another." You just like the boat in the background, just like doing surgeries and shit
with a drill.
Yeah,
bunch of power tools.
Yeah.
Okay, so fun stuff. Life on track. I guess we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
And any RuneScape resolutions?
Play.
That's a pretty simple one.
No, dude, I just completed my resolution. Well, let me turn on my phone first. But I guess if I am to play, like, find a better reason to play it, I guess.
What was your reason before?
Well, addiction.
Yeah, okay.
Internet crack. But it was fun setting goals. But then as the end of the year came, I was like, well, this is actually I can just reference, what were my life goals? None. Let's talk about all my RuneScape. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely was a little bit too focused on the game. And then, yeah, so like, I guess balance, if I am to play it, be a little bit more balanced and find a better, because I would play it with like, the idea, like, I guess it's kind of obvious, but like, I played it hoping that at some point be able to like shred as much RuneScape as I want with my buddies. Well, not as much, but like when I'm playing, you know, me and the boys sit down and play it. But that just stopped because everyone quit. And then it was just me kind of like, you know, that meme with the dog in the house and it's on fire. It's like, this is okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that where it's like, I'm clearly just playing it, hoping that they'll come back and we'll be able to like do a bunch of content and have some fun. And then they don't. And you're like, oh no, these guys actually quit for good. I don't want to keep doing this. This is boring. I don't want to spend 5 months of my life in game maxing and just playing on my own.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So your resolution is to find a healthier approach on how to play RuneScape without playing it for hours, or without making it your life. Like, your day isn't spent playing RuneScape.
Yeah.
It's more of a way to relax and end the night, let's just say, I guess.
Yeah, and like setting like healthier goals in terms of like, not like, well, I'll only do 400 raids total. Not like that. I mean, in terms of like, I don't, it's kind of hard to explain. I guess maybe scratch that. Maybe not healthier goals because it's RuneScape and that doesn't really make sense because no matter what, 4 hours in, your chair smells the same, right?
Yeah. So I guess put it differently is a healthier lifestyle around RuneScape. In gaming in general, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess. You know what? Maybe I'll read those 2 books I got for video game addiction. Maybe that'll like really put it in perspective for me.
Fair enough. Okay, so that's it for your resolutions for 2019. Life on track and play video games in a more healthy way.
Yeah, I should probably think about getting a girlfriend or like putting myself out there more. That's probably a good one to put. You know, turning 24.
Yeah,
it's probably time to hang up the pickaxe.
Nice,
and grab a tie.
It's good. It's good. All right, and so I guess another resolution is focus on your social life a bit more.
Yeah,
they all seem pretty good.
And max my RuneScape account.
Yeah. Just throw that one in there. Just do it on mobile when you can.
My last resolution, which people have actually complained about, is I'm gonna fucking swear less.
Fucking swear less?
Yeah. Well, like, no, but in all seriousness, though, like my small town lingo is bad. Like in a professional setting, I'm not like, yo, what the fuck's up, boss? You know what I mean? Like, yo, what are you saying? Like, I'm not like just saying all that. But like on the podcast, I'm definitely like way more lax and casual. That like I curse a lot to the point where like I don't want to listen because I know there's moments where I'm like it just slips out just because like from a small town Canadian, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like I swear like way too much.
Yeah, I have the same problem because when I work construction, you just randomly throw it out.
Yeah, it's like when a girl says like too much.
Yeah,
I'm just dropping F-bombs though. I'm using it as like a filler, and it's bad. But yeah. Anyway, sorry. What are your resolutions?
No, I totally understand the whole like when you get comfortable in situations though, it's so easy to just slip them out.
Yeah.
I was like eating dinner with their girlfriend's family and I would just slip out like that's fucking weak or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they're nice, so they didn't care or anything, but I know like I was like, that just kind of slipped on out there. Especially if I ever get a job in radio, if I have to be on air for something.
Yeah.
I really don't want to have that to be a thing.
4 years down the road, Dilz drops a couple F-bombs live on national like radio.
Oh boy, that'd be good. Okay, so real life resolutions for me, diet, good old diet. Well, I guess focus on just a healthier lifestyle in general. So getting proper sleep, going to the gym consistently, I should say. And
you got to hit those 32-hour daily workouts.
Yeah, hell yeah. Ideally, I want to be able to lose 20 to 30 pounds by next year. Well, depends how much muscle you gain instead of losing weight, right?
Maybe like a body fat percentage.
Yeah, I don't even know. I got to calculate that stuff out then.
Worst case scenario, just chop off an arm before we go live next year. Done.
We got 20 minutes before I just go unconscious. I guess really just focus on school. This is another one. Focus on school, getting that all nice and tight. And I really need to sit down and work on some of that bonus content for when we release the Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
I have a bunch of ideas, and I've been talking with people for these one-on-one interviews, and I just haven't had the time to sit down and schedule it when we both can sit for an hour or so and talk.
Yeah.
So I need to just focus on that as well. I need to put some time aside where I can be more serious with it.
With the D&D, so I had 1.5 sessions put together. Because I mentioned I'd maybe slip into Patreon boys.
Oh, that's right.
And it was so bad. It was so bad that I never realized in between my group of friends, we laugh at stuff. And then I'm like, that's hilarious. And then I realized it's a reference to a joke I made 6 years ago. And people be like, this is, you ever watch those really bad YouTube videos where it's guys are we're gonna be famous YouTubers, but then they're just sitting there laughing at their own jokes because they we laugh at our own jokes, but we're just like that in general.
Yeah,
I always laugh at my own jokes, but in terms of whoa, John, that was an epic kill, and they all just laugh, and you're this is awful. That was what my D&D recordings were. Where it's we'd be making these really weird references that go back so long that we're referencing a reference, and it's super it was awful. I'm I'm gonna just archive this in my hard drive until my hard drive breaks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah. Anyway, sorry, go on.
No, I think that's it for my real life resolutions. Just be healthier and focus more on schooling and podcast stuff.
Yeah.
For RuneScape though, let's see. I would like to actually max my account this year, as in get 99 prayer.
Yeah.
Everything rounded out that has to do with combat. So 99 Slayer, that's gonna happen. I'm 30% to 99. I'm at 98 right now. And then Magic, I'm just getting that passively because if I really wanted to, I could blast that out in a day.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, just put the money in.
I mean, you'll probably get it through, if not, you'll hit 99 prayer and be well, let me just elk a lot more than I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing, elking all the rune drops I get from Slayer and stuff. I want to be able to get all my quests done.
Yeah.
And stay on top of that. I would like to be able to get 99 farming.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I don't know why, but I kind of want 99 farming. And it would be pretty cool to actually start looking at the Inferno by the end of the year. Seriously be trying for the Inferno Cape.
Tebow max gear trying, or?
Yeah, pretty much. Or at least close to max gear. With good enough gear that I would be able to get it. And then it'll just come down to me trying it over and over again and getting my actual skill up. So that would be nice.
So are you thinking like Ellie Tebow or like no Ellie? Because you like the thing is you can do it without an Ellie or a Tebow, and people have done it. People have learned to do it without those items, but obviously if you have them, it's gonna make like your attempts way more good.
Yeah.
I can't think of the right word, but
I mean, I don't really know, because
who knows, right? You could do a raid and get a Tebow.
yeah, exactly.
GP is random. You could just stake.
Yeah, no, I've had bad experience with that one.
Yeah, 15 losses, by the way, in a row. Anyways.
I would like to I've kind of thought about trying to get those unique, like the untradeable uniques from Clue Scrolls, where like it's like do 200 master clues and you get that clue sack.
Yeah.
Get 200 hard Clue Scrolls done, you get the emote. Like I want to be able to get all 5 of those.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the pet. I just say that because I like to do my Clue Scrolls and I'm going to do them anyways. It's just now I'm not turning in all my clues into master clues. I'm just doing them as I'll do my elites until I get my unique, and then I'll set that one aside to do my master clues with, or to exchange for master clues. And then I guess for my last resolution would be I want to start an Iron Man at some point this year, mainly because it does seem like it would be a lot of fun to do. Mainly because for our lore segment, I want to go through and do all the quests, but actually read all the dialogue. So that's what makes me want to do an Iron Man, but it also seems like it would be kind of fun to do as well.
Yep.
It's just every time I play RuneScape, I want to work on my main. That's my problem, because my main still has a lot that I want to get done on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking this year will be the year where I start honing in on all like the end game goals of mine on my main, and start maybe looking at a new account, or at least having some goals being like, let's get 99 fishing this year, and then I'll work on my Iron Man while I do that. So yeah, we'll have to see how that all goes. So before we do get into what news has been going on, we'll run through some of the resolutions that were sent in to us from last year. All right, so our first submission was from Color Eyes. He says his resolutions were to get his barrel gloves, complete all medium and hard diaries, to get his fire cape, base 60s in his stats, and pimp out his player-owned house so we can get rid of the cosmetics in his bank. So he had replied with, can't believe it's been a year already. So this year I got my barrels gloves, so check. All my easy diaries and a good chunk of the mediums were done, so not the hards. And still haven't got my fire cape, but I've only put 2 solid attempts in this year. Did get my base 60s and really close to base 70s. Although I don't know if I've improved my player-owned house much since last year, but it's got what I need for now. Our next submission was from Para. His resolutions were to get this quest cape, base 70s, 90 range, magic, and strength, all hard diaries, fire cape, and a green cash stack. And then on his baby no honor pure, he wanted to finish the combat stats needed and to smite someone's +1. So he had told us that no, he did not get his quest cape, no base 70s, but he did get 90 plus in range, magic, and strength, got some of the hard diaries done, got the fire cape, and got the green cash stack. The baby pure is not finished though, and he decided not to go the smite build. And our last submission was from Booley. So his first non-RuneScape related resolution was to save more money and to finish his backyard. As for RuneScape, the goals were to get his first 99 ever and defeat every boss once, besides the Inferno or any of the raids. So Booley was able to complete his real-life resolutions, and he did get 99 prayer, his first 99, which is a crazy first 99 to get.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool. It'd be a cool untrimmed cape.
Yeah.
So congrats on that. As for bosses, he did complete Chambers of Zarek, but the only bosses he didn't finish were the free-to-play bosses, the Saradomin boss in God Wars, and the higher level Slayer bosses like Kraken and above. So thank you very much for sending in your submissions. If you have your own resolutions, whether it's real life or RuneScape, send them to us. You can do that over email or Discord or whatever it is. Send us your resolutions, and then a year from now, we will be checking in to see how the progress was done. Because it is pretty cool to see who's able to complete what, and because a lot of people just kind of forget what the resolutions are halfway through.
Yeah.
Happens to me, and I just randomly get them by accident.
And a lot of it is like, well, I probably shouldn't actually do that. You know what I mean? Like people like pivot.
Yep.
Where it's like, yeah, you know what?
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on to what little news we have this week.
Maintenance.
Yeah, some maintenance went on. Not a whole lot.
Next week, though.
Next week is the big update.
Yeah.
So for community stuff, they during their QA this week, because they did come back with it, they kind of just answered questions about the Cabos Lowlands, and they gave previews of some of the designs and the area, and it's all looking pretty damn good. I am pretty excited to see how it works out. Yeah, that's going to be coming out this Thursday. So hopefully I'll be able to jump right into it at some point this weekend. But anyways, some other things that have been going on in the community. Link's Titan finally got 200 mil in every single skill.
Woot.
Yeah,
Grats,
pretty
woot,
much.
woot.
Woot, woot. So we finally did it after hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of grinding.
Isn't it like 500 or something days? I don't know. It's like a crazy amount of time we put in.
It is a lot. Yeah.
Part of me wants to say it's like 760 days EHP or something. I don't, that might be completely off. I forget though, but someone did the math and he spent way too much time doing it.
Well, yeah. I mean, that is a lot of time.
Depends, I guess, depending on who you ask. But
well, originally, I think you're the one who had told me this, but he had said once he completes his account, he'll be making a new account and doing the same thing over again.
yeah.
But it turns out that had actually changed. He decided against that.
Yep.
And he said he's going to be slowing down on RuneScape entirely and just spending more time doing other games and working on some real life goals, I guess.
Yeah.
Which I guess is pretty wise. You spend, 5 years or so grinding towards this long goal. I think it's fair to say, take a step back.
Yeah.
So congrats to him, though.
Yeah, he, first old school player to hit max experience.
Yep, 200 million experience in every single skill.
And he's also done that in RS3, though. So he's also the first player to do it in both.
Yep.
And yeah, congrats to him.
Yeah, that's a huge achievement for the game.
Yeah, he'll ever be cemented as rank 1.
Yeah, that's right.
And by a big margin, too. Like, he could have quit for, over a year, and he'd still be rank 1.
Which was kind of cool when he did get his maxed experience. Jagex sent out a broadcast in the game.
Yeah.
Congratulating him. Which is, I think, the one time it's appropriate to broadcast someone else's achievement.
Yep.
Because in RuneScape 3, if you get a 99, or if you get all 99s, or 200 mil experience, or whatever, it broadcasts it every time.
Yep.
So, and people are very against that in this game. But I think for this one time, I think it's fair to do that.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Again, congratulations to Link's Titan on that one.
Now, you know what? How funny would it be? Because so when mobile first came out, a lot of people thought Old School RuneScape came out with mobile.
Okay.
That was a lot of things I had to correct people on when I was ripping around in the free-to-play worlds. Because people were like, how much money you spend to get that experience and gear? It's like, dude, I've been playing this game for a fucking year. Come on. A lot of people thought that, hey, everyone's starting RuneScape at the same time. We're all playing on our phones. And then, imagine believing that. And you're, playing. And you're like, what? Someone already has all the experience you can get in the game?
Yeah.
It's been, 3 months. Okay, he's cheating. He hacked. You know what I mean?
Pretty much. Or I'm going to spend so much money on these treasure hunter keys. And guess what? Wrong game. Actually, funny little story. Over the Christmas holidays, the girlfriend's parents, they know that we play RuneScape and we do a podcast thingy on it. But they wanted to buy Deagin a little present. So I get a phone call being like, is 5 treasure hunter keys and 3,000 rune coins good? Because my parents going to buy him. I was like, no. I mean, it's a thought that counts and all, but we don't support that.
Wow, Deagin just really seems to dislike me. Why? Well, remember 2 years ago, you guys got him Runescape, just super angry about it.
He took that as a slight against him.
Yeah, I remember I was like chilling. I don't know if you told me or if I got like a message on my phone. It's like $25 Amazon gift card. And I was like, what? What's going on?
There's an error at Amazon. It's just sending everyone all these codes.
Yeah. Hey, I bought a book with it, so that's good.
What book did you buy?
I don't want to say because everyone's going to think like I'm a bitch. But it's called what? The Problems of Philosophy or in Philosophy. It was $5.
Interesting.
130 pages. It's like, I thought it was like, well, Of Mice and Men is like 121, if I remember.
Stupid book.
I love that. I actually cranked that book. Okay. Random tangent, but like I had to read that in grade 11, I think, was part of my English. And as you can tell, I wasn't the most serious student, but I like reading and stuff. And so my English class was filled with people that like to goof off in school like me. That's the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it came down to like, we're going to read Of Mice and Men, I was like, okay, I've heard this is a good book. So we all get the book. I go home like, I really like that book. And I cranked it out in like 2 days, literally. And then I like show up and it's like near the end of the year, right? It's like we had like 3 or 4 months. It's like, you know, just after like our spring break. And I finished it like 1 or 2 days. And then I was talking to the teacher and he's like, yeah, no, this is what we're doing for the rest of the semester. Reading this book.
Yeah.
It's 130 pages for like 3 months. So I pretty much finished everything to do in that class. And then I like did all like the school related work. And then I just
chilled,
messed around super hard.
I know there's some teachers when I was in high school would say, don't read ahead. You're going to screw everything up.
Oh yeah. I finished that book. And the thing is, and when we had to do the test at the end of the year, nobody actually read the book.
Oh yeah.
And it was such a joke that like I did the test and then handed up my test over like 8 different kids. They just copied my answers. And the teacher was like, if you guys all, like, I might lose my job. So I'm going to just let this happen. And funny enough, he did lose his job like the next year. I'm not even kidding.
Jeez.
But, cause he was, into the students quite a bit. Let's
that
just say
creepy
that.
teacher, right?
Yeah,
I had the same one. He did some real weird shit in school.
Yeah, he was youthful.
Yeah, he
had a youthful spirit.
He's very bizarre.
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah, but like, yeah. So I have fond memories of. I don't know why I'm bringing that up. I just was like, you know what, this book's as short as that. It's a worst case scenario.
Crank it out in a day.
Well, probably not, because probably gonna be a lot of words I'm gonna have to Google.
Yeah, fair enough.
But hey man, it was like $5, and might help. Might be interesting.
Figured all the problems with philosophy.
Yeah, I might have like a British accent next episode, just because like now I'm trying to sound smart.
Reading it Britishly.
Yeah. Hello, governor.
Anyways, moving on to what else had happened this week in the community. Someone basically posted a picture of, if you remember back a few months before Theater Blood came out, Mod West had designed these 3 sets of gear that had this like darker look to it. There was a guy with a flail, and there was a ranged set and a mage set.
Yeah.
And the idea for these were they'd be as strong as Barrows outside of the raid.
Yeah.
But in Theater of Blood, they would be the best in slot, and as you got more kills with it, you could level them up, basically.
Yeah, which I thought was a sweet idea.
Everyone did.
And it fit the idea of you got this from the Theater of Blood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looked fitting, right?
Yeah. But then we got Justicar.
Yeah, so they came out with that one instead. So he didn't make a response on the Reddit thread, and he talks about how an evil justiciar, I guess, armor set is part of the lore, and it kind of dives into a turn cloak. Anyways, we'll get into that another week. So he made the comment saying, I do have the design in place for how it could be obtained. Basically, Barrow's armor sync. But lately, I've been of the opinion that we should slow down the rate in which we've been introducing best in slot items. I wouldn't want to replace bandos either, but perhaps offer an alternative focused on accuracy rather than strength. Also, it being degradable, I may be in the minority opinion on this. Also, I'd want it to be released as a set of 3 armors, as that was the original plan. But the chances of that passing a poll is unlikely. Nothing is scheduled quite right now.
I do agree with not bringing out gear. Let's just hash this out real quick. Open up the hatch. We need to fix the issue with
The current gear.
And what tiers they all sit in.
Yeah, I agree.
We gotta flip that around as fast. Rip that band-aid off. People will get mad for like a month.
Similar to when they've nerfed Void Range, right?
Yeah, people will. They'll be like, well, this ruins smithing, and they'll bring up smithing, which is like irrelevant. But we gotta like fix that. Just hire me for like a week, Jagex. I'll like make the community hate me, and then you guys can blame stuff on me, fire me. Just let me fix this weird power creep issue that you guys have like made, or help, I guess. And then start working on some of the new gear, even if it's side upgrades, even if it's like Theater of Blood 2.
Yeah,
and
super
like,
niche.
Yeah, even if it's like, because like, let's be real, accuracy gear would only be good at like where would accuracy, like bandos?
The accuracy would need to be much better than the strength bonus.
Which means you're going to have to always hit. Pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's got to be on monsters that range sucks at. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Either you're wearing like best in slot strength or best range with a blowpipe.
Yeah.
That's meta. So like
I would love gear that's more focused on accuracy and it being actually viable. They've been pitching that idea for a while now. When Chambers of Xeric was first being released, if you remember Elder Armor and Twisted Armor, all that stuff, which were going to be the same thing focused on. And that was going to be tier 78. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Tier 78, but nope. Did not pass the polls.
And then they brought Ancestral, which is magic strength, and it's like now your magic stuff hits
what was
harder.
it, tier 65, I think?
I don't know.
Keep it in line with bandos?
But Ancestral is like magic strength.
Yep.
Which is...
It's there
now. But if they were to release this, I want it to be... I don't want to go too tangent-y. I want it to be in line with the Justice Art in the sense of that when you want it, you want to have a full set.
Yeah,
but I
sure.
want it to be more than 3 pieces. So the Justice Art, it like depending on what your current defense bonuses are, on what you're getting hit by or whatever, you gain like extra damage reduction. And there's 3 pieces, so really you wear like 3 pieces, Guardian boots. Like you wear your Ellie, like all your tank gear. So we have like the tank gear set out, and so like if we use like the Bloodstasar, let's just I don't know,
Bloodstasar
with the big old flail, it would be kind of cool to like have like the weapon, the helmet, all that stuff, maybe even a ring and a necklace, like just like a full set. But then it's like you add a bleeding effect that you can stack, or like maybe you get some sort of vampirism effect.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's the same as like the Sanguinesti stat, like some sort of unique thing that like, hey, I don't do more DPS, but if I bring this to like Dagonoth Kings, or I bring this to Hydra, I don't know, like a random Hydra. Whatever, like a random boss, or like Cerberus, I'll be able to actually sustain longer, or like give different trade-offs instead of like, because typically like why strength is so good is that you kill the bosses faster, so you take less damage, so your trips are longer, and you get more kills. So if you don't want to do more damage, you want to have more sustain, because a lot of the bosses force you to take damage, like the gargoyles, the like Cerberus, like you're forced to take damage through lava.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just like random stuff like that. Even Kraken, like you're forced to take damage randomly, right? Like you get a hit with those random 24s. So it'd be kind of cool if they, with these new gears, if they try to bring them in, to have it more for sustain instead of just different DPS.
Yeah. How about the idea of it being a different type of DPS? So I like the idea of having more than just 3 or 4 pieces of gear, making it a set. In World of Warcraft, they'll have like 6 pieces of gear, but the set bonus kicks in once you have the first 3. And then once you add more, it starts getting better and better.
Yeah, 2, 4, 6 or something like that.
Yeah, so maybe, what do you think of the idea of, let's go with the melee. You have the flail, helmet, chest, and leggings, but they also add maybe gloves, boots, and a cape to go along with it. And once you get the first 4 with the weapon or whatever, instead of it being sustained and not exactly higher DPS, but it could be, maybe you have a chance of adding a bleed effect where they take like damage over time.
Yeah.
Because this way, you might lose out on DPS if you can kill the monster fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe if it's like a bigger monster, like maybe Bandos or something, the bleed effect could actually do more damage over time. And then this way, you could have it so once you have the full set, the bleed just keeps getting stronger with more pieces being added as you have them equipped.
Yeah, just like something like I want to see like other options than like DPS, especially where like when you look at the cool things they've come up with through like Chambers of Xeric, like in terms of like boss mechanics, and Theater of Blood, like they like it really surprised me. Like even like the fact that Soda Sag is a boss, where like that's the doggy boy, that like brings you to another dimension, and like how those mechanics work, and like all the bosses are like really cool. Lady Verzik is pretty neat, but yeah, like they show they can come up with really cool boss fights, and now it's like apply some of those cool ideas to like armor.
Yeah,
like
it's tough though. You got to balance out whether it's going to be best and you know what I mean. Like having it best in slot, it's sure to fail a pull, but having it good in some way but bad in other ways is what people seem to like.
I think in general, when Jagex makes gear, they want it to be the best for something.
Yep.
Twisted Bow versus Blowpipe, like you know what I mean? Like one's gonna be better than the other in a certain scenario. The Grazi versus like an Elder Maul.
Yeah.
Same concept. Or even like a bludgeon, you can throw in the bludgeon there, I guess. And yeah, like I don't like that because like it brings you to the point where you're like, I look at my PVM items and I have some that are like, this is the best in slot for one boss.
Yeah.
Like I have Abyssal Bludgeon literally just for Cerberus, because I like killing the boss, and Bludgeon's really good, so I just keep it, and it's like 30 mil or whatever sitting in my bank because for one guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But it would be cool to just have like other options in terms of like, maybe it doesn't do the most DPS, but like let's say this heals you or it does bleeds, then it like allows you like, maybe, hey, I want to learn how to do this boss. We'll learn using this gear. It's cheaper or like just as expensive, but it does this and this and this, so you're able to add a bleed effect on Bandos as like a guy just solos Bandos.
Yeah.
And so now that he's bleeding out, you can like focus on not dying, or you know what I mean? Like that's just an example. Like
no, that's good. It's like almost take a look at what they did when they designed the Barrows gear.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they all have their uses in some way. Sure, the set bonuses aren't good for every single one of them. Toreg, yeah, but still, the chest and legs are good defensive gear. I used to wear that a bunch, depending on when I was lower level.
Yeah,
and it's good because the defense bonuses are on par with like Durox, but they're cheap. Toreg is cheaper.
Yeah,
so it's much better to use it. And then you have Durox, which is great for training. Or if you want to flinch the Chaos Elemental or stuff like that, it's good to bring it for that. Verax, great.
Or if you're that one crazy guy, you want to run the head at Ulm and using Darox.
Yeah, I mean, that's good luck.
It's pretty cool. You guys should look that up. It's a pretty cool video.
Who's it by?
I don't know. You could just Google Darok Ulm, and like you'll find. I want to say it's like Kev, or I don't know what the guy's name is, but
cool. But yeah, you look at Verax, great for certain bosses, but not all of them.
Yep.
And then it all gives prayer bonus, so sometimes you're using the helmet for things, or you're using the chest or the skirt more so.
Yep.
Yeah, Torre, Guthin's great for healing, basically it.
Slayer.
Yeah. If you don't have a Ceradome and Godsword yet.
Yeah, good. Well, I kind of bring both to some, depending on the tasks. But
yeah, the gargoyles and stuff, yeah, for sure. And then Carol's top and bottom are fantastic for mini bosses.
Mm-hmm.
And then the full set, I guess you could use that for PKing if you wanted to. And then Aram's, again, top and bottom, great for mini bosses as well.
Yep. And not for barraging or bursting at the catacombs, guys.
Yeah, prayer, get your initiate on, or proselyte.
Bring your friggin' prayer gear. I see way too many people in like Arams, and you're like, dude, just bring monk robes at least.
Yeah.
It's because the catacomb guys don't have magic defense, so magic accuracy is irrelevant. I bring Ancestral just because more damage.
Yeah, that's the only other time you'd want to switch to Ancestral. Yeah, prayer's the way to go. Anyways, Mod West did do another comment replying to that thread because Agility OSRS replied to him saying, why wasn't the original concept used for the final product? And Mod West says, the original plan was the 3 new armors would be similar to Barrows outside of Theater of Blood, but within it would be stronger. There'd also be cosmetic upgrades from Theater of Blood itself to make the armor more impressive the more you completed it. However, after the initial design meetings, it was decided that 3 new armors would not stand a chance of passing if you look at the Raids 1 fiasco. That had too many reward pulls. So they were scrapped and replaced with a tanky prayer set. That concept didn't fit with the concept I'd made, as it ain't that tanky or consistent with prayer armors. I didn't attend the design meeting as I was working on a different project at the time, so the precise reasoning may be a little off.
That's kind of weird. I guess it makes sense why they restructured their team if the guy making the design concepts and everything for the armors wasn't at the meetings.
Yeah, he's busy with other work, yeah.
But I guess it's good that they redid their team structure, because so that doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
But I can totally see 3 new armors. What? Like, you know?
Yeah, which is what happened with Chambers of Zarek, right? They brought out 3 sets of armor. Only one of them really passed, and that was after it got toned down somewhat. And then they had to bring out a bunch of random things, right?
I mean, I still stand by, I don't think 3 sets of armor should have came from Zarek's.
Yeah. But because they failed, that's why we got the Dragon Short Sword, the Harpoon,
The claws.
The claws, those all got thrown in instead to...
I missed the meme of, what was like, break case, like, in case, like, break glass in case of pole failure or something like that. Those memes would be like dragon claws and like like where like the hatchets are.
If all else fails, just bust out the dragon claws.
Yeah, just because people were like, I remember people begged for D-claws to be put in the game for so long.
Yeah. It's a toned down version of them.
Yep. Believe it or not.
Crazy. So yeah, we might see them come into the game sometime. People are proposing maybe a challenge mode for Theater of Blood, but in due time, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now that we got that all out of the way, it's I think this is the perfect time to tackle the year in review for all the updates and scandals that have gone on in old school RuneScape. So we did this last year, made a little survey where you guys are able to vote on what you think should win in each category, but right now I guess we'll talk about it. You can give your opinions on things and we can just look at exactly what happened in this year in reverse. The very first category I have here is the best update. So I took some of the biggest updates that came out this year and just put them on this list here. So these ones were Dragon Slayer 2, Chambers of Zarek Challenge Mode, Theater of Blood, and the mobile client. In your opinion, what would you say was the best update this year?
I'm stuck between mobile and Dragon Slayer 2.
Oh, really?
Because Dragon Slayer 2, like, set the standards of, like, don't be scared, the quests are gonna be sick. You know what I mean?
It was a very fucking good quest.
Like, Monkey Madness 2 was fine. It was okay. You know what I mean? But, like,
it was decent. There were some interesting parts, but there was a lot of in-between downtimes where
you're putting C4 satchels and, like, that stuff sucked.
Yeah.
But, like, Dragon Slayer 2 was, like, truly an adventure.
Yeah, it was unironically, it was an epic quest.
Yeah, like, now that is epic.
Yeah.
But, like, it actually kind of felt like a real, Like, it got to, like, the meat and potatoes of, like, a RuneScape quest.
You were invested into that story.
Yeah, especially, like, being really... It kind of, like, reminds me, like, being, like, Lil Nooblet, like, Lil Deagin back in, like, 2004, 2005, like, going through the quest, like, oh, now I gotta go back to Varrock? Awesome! Ooh, to Lumbridge? Awesome! Like you're just, like, running around doing your quests. And then this one, like, it brings you all over the game. It released Vorkath, which... Can't skip that. No, I'm kidding.
It's a cool looking boss.
Vorkath, which, like, set the standards of, like, really cool aesthetics.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But the Rune and Addy dragons, which were really cool. I just like the whole feel of the quest. Even fighting the last boss, Galvek, yeah.
It seemed like a final boss to a game.
Yeah.
And the quest was, like, truly an adventure. Yeah, as you said, you get adventure all over old school RuneScape. So, spoilers, if you haven't done it yet, maybe skip 2 minutes.
I mean, it's been out for a year. Spoiler alert, you killed dragons.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
But you have to go to each major city and, like, basically little civilization within it, and you have to basically recruit them to help you fight against these dragonkins.
Yeah.
So you have to go to the King Lathis and King Ronald? The King of Varrock and the King of Ardone and Falador maybe. Yeah, and then the Fremenix, you have to go all over the place recruiting them. And then there's a scene where it's like a major battle. All the ships are out at sea together, and the dragons start fighting back, and shit
hits the fan. Yep.
And then there's that scene where you're having to traverse through this, like, little obstacle course through a bunch of like wreckage.
Shipwreck, yeah. Just, like, floating garbage.
And I know I mentioned this when the quest first came out, but if you have the music on, it plays the main theme of old school RuneScape, the shit that we play at the beginning and the stuff that you hear when you're at the login screen. But I got literally chills when that started playing, and it was like almost rounding around the whole game to, like, when it all started, sort of.
Yeah. Like, if Jagex wanted to end updates for RuneScape, and they wanted to have, like, one final shebang and pull a RuneScape Classic and let it just sit, this would have been, like, the perfect quest to do it.
Yeah, there was closure. It had its ups and downs. It had a very dramatic ending.
Yep.
With a boss that was tough. It was a pretty, for as far as questing goes.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of mechanics you had to learn, and if you screwed up, you got punished. You died.
I mean, I one-shot it. I didn't die.
Did you watch a video?
I gandered.
Took a little peek.
Yeah.
But going in blind, like, you're gonna probably die if you don't know how the quest is.
Oh, yeah.
Or how the fight is, I should say.
But yeah, it was super well done. But then I'm kind of biased towards mobile, even though I don't use it. And I used to, when I was playing a lot, I would just kind of use it to do, like, agility and stuff on my breaks.
Yeah.
Just because, like, well, hey, let's see how much quote-unquote passive experience, you know what I mean? Experience I'd get. And it was nice, and it really did bolster the player base, and it seems to still... Mobile's still in effect, but because of tinfoil hat theories, it makes me worry about this year.
Yeah, true.
I'm gonna have to go Dragon Slayer 2.
Nice, Dragon Slayer 2. That is a good one. It's some strong arguments there, because it's set the standard for how a end level quest should be.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But mobile client, I would say that is the best update for the game, for the health of the game. Well, currently as it stands, right? We'll see in the future.
For the population.
Because right now we do have 113,000 people playing it.
Yep.
We're still over that 100K player limit or player count. I'm gonna have to go with my favorite, or what I think is the best update for me personally, might be Theater of Blood. The way that cool raid is designed is, like, super cool. I love it. Even though I haven't really touched it myself, but the music, all of it is so well done. The armors and weapons, for the most part, looks pretty good. All pretty sweet. And
so let's just pretend the staff doesn't exist.
Yeah,
though.
That's what I said for the most part.
Yeah.
Staff's a little interesting looking.
Yeah, like the raid is pretty fun. And it's fun like learning it too. I only have like 3 kill count.
Yeah.
But like fighting the bosses it's a good time.
Yeah, and they're all really cool, and it's the type of raiding that I like. Even though I do like Chambers of Xeric too. That's a good raid itself.
Yep.
But I think reason why I'm going to say that one as well is because when it was released, we both did. We woke up at like 6 a.m. to jump on.
Yep.
I thought I was going to be there for the system update, but I was on there and it had come out like 20, 30 minutes before.
Yeah.
And everyone was all flooding in. And I spent like a day and a half. Like I sat there all day watching streams of it. And I was so super invested on what team was going to win first. I'd have a bunch of different streams going. So that was really exciting.
Yeah. Have Wooks' gameplay, Bodhi's voice.
Yeah.
And then have whoever's closest behind them or like whoever's ahead of them on the other, like, you know.
Well, that's the thing. You'd have teams who they'd all be out the last boss, and there's another team, that PVM clan. Yeah. They were the first team to get to the third phase.
Yeah.
But they didn't know it was going to be nobody knew there was another phase. They thought the fight was over after that.
Yeah, they were like cheering and like, yay, there's another phase, and they're like panicking.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah. So then once that happens, then you watch the team start getting to the third phase. And I remember that one team itself got down to 1.6% life or something, or even less before they died.
Yeah.
And then 12 hours later, Wooks and Bodhi's team were able to actually get the first kill. So that was really cool to see, and I really enjoyed watching that. That type of stuff is, I think, why I'm going to vote for that one. The next category, we had it last year because we had a much more action going on. So I figured we'd just throw it under this one, but a little quieter on this front. The best free-to-play update. Byrofita, the Moss Giant boss. The free-to-play PvP worlds. And anti-poison potions.
And mobile. No, I'm kidding. Probably PvP worlds, I'd say.
Yeah, probably. That or maybe the Moss Giant boss, only because now there's 2. It's kind of cool. Now we can maybe start looking at like an Ice Giant boss in the future.
Yeah.
I think it's fair for free-to-play to get all these, 4 or maybe just 3 giant bosses.
Yeah, the main thing is that, like, I want to say that, like, the boss kind of flopped.
The rewards are very lackluster, especially that there's no free to play. Like the unique isn't viable. Like it's not a free to play item. Whereas Obor, the Hill Giant boss, had the club.
And the main thing is like not like the people that grinded Moss Giants weren't going to be free to play for much longer.
Yeah,
like those the guys with like 65 plus stats. You know what I mean? Like, they had higher stats in free to play. Because like what made Obor I thought so successful was that, hey, everyone is always killing hill giants in every world, always. You know what I mean? Like it's
between limp roots and big bones, right?
Yeah,
it's a good way to make some free to play money.
Yeah, and then now they drop these giant keys. And people are like, what are these? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and when I made my was it last year I made my free-to-play account? Maybe the year before, I don't remember.
I can't remember.
But I made a free-to-play account to like kind of like get my buddy into RS. It was fun because I like got to develop a strat on like efficiently hitting certain milestones and being ready to do endgame free-to-play content, I guess.
Yep.
And a lot of it was based around training on hill giants, stockpiling mad keys, hitting certain like range thresholds and magic levels, and then grinding out Obor, and then like doing all the quests, like all that stuff. Like it was really fun. Like I like geared an account towards like how fast could I like farm Obor for a bond, and I still have a bunch of keys and stuff I gotta do on them, but yeah, I don't know. So I kind of feel like Bryofita was like a little bit of a flop.
Yeah, especially compared to Obor.
Yeah.
Best quality of life update. So there's a handful to go through here, but the farming timer rework, where they fixed all those up. If you remember before, it was a pretty janky system.
Yep.
Left click to use cooking ranges. You can just click on them now to start cooking your food. The wise old man. The members quest item removal, Before you only did it for free to play. The item collection log, which is a recent one we see. Magic spellbook icon recolors. So now when you change, depending on what spellbook you're on, it'll actually change the color on your tab. The achievement diary progress bars, which wasn't around beforehand. You have to like actually click on them to see. The bounty hunter and PvP world rotations, which allowed other players who might lag constantly on those worlds, they just wait for that world to come onto their servers. The looting bag left click to pick up, so you can just loot a pile on the ground straight into your looting bag itself. GE potion decanting, so you can decant them into 1 dose, 2 dose, 3 dose instead of just straight 4 doses. Left click withdrawal Alt/X in the bank interface. So now it happened in mobile, and they eventually brought it to the game client itself. Spellbook filters, which is again another new one. And yeah, that's it.
Probably the looting bag.
Yeah,
Left click, yeah.
that one's pretty big. For me, I'm gonna have to go with left click to withdraw. I think Alt/X from the bank interface. Even though sometimes I leave it on, I accidentally withdraw like 4 barrels gloves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's makes doing Herblore so much nicer.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
That, or maybe the item collection log too, because I do like that. I like being able to see my items, bank up on there.
Yeah, I mean, if it was able to track item, like the thing is that's kind of useless for most of the player base.
Yeah, it's just like a satisfying thing.
It's kind of like, imagine like maxing, and then they came out with achievement diaries, and you're like,
yeah,
well, I gotta do a bunch of random shit again, so I can just get that. That's gonna be like all this free experience is gonna be useless.
Yeah, all the lamps,
all the quality of life. I guess it'll help, but I'm already max. Like, I'm not saying like that's me, but when it comes like, I would only care about like, hey, I get a pet.
Yeah,
and then it's like, but I have the pet, so I don't need it. And then Iron Man doesn't really affect them, but. See, I'd actually argue that the withdraw all, I don't like it. But, I mean, I bitched with it before. But also, I might have a different feeling if I didn't grind, like, 90 Herblore and stuff. And, like, get my fletching and my cooking and all those.
Yeah, fair enough.
I guess I still have crafting to do. So I haven't really got a chance to use it too much. Or at all, really, actually.
Next category is best new item. Again, a few of these to go through. So, Dragon Leather Shields, Rev Cave Weapons, the Master Clue Scroll Sack, Vorkath Uniques, which is the Dragon Bone Necklace, Dragon Ward, and Ava's Assembler, Dragon Plate Body, Kite Shield, and Crossbow, Mythical Cape, Avernic Defender, Sanguinesti Staff, Garazi Rapier, Justiciar Armor, Scythe of Vitur, and Byrophita's Staff.
You forgot one key one.
Which one's that?
Easter Armor.
Oh, damn. True.
Wow, I just had a really weird realization. I'm not a big fan of any of the new items they brought in.
No?
I mean, like, I probably complained about all of them when they were coming out. I think I did.
Does any of them stand out to you, though?
I mean, the Mythical Cape, I do like how it's, I believe it's best in slot crush.
Yeah.
And the teleport's kind of nice.
Yeah, I like the Mythical Cape, too. That's, has its uses, right?
Yeah. And it's not, like, super OP or, like, useless.
Yeah. And it looks nice, too.
That's really weird. I'm not a fan of any of the new items, really.
Interesting.
I'm gonna have to go with the Mythical Cape then.
Mythical Cape?
Yeah.
See, I'm torn between the Dragon Plate Body, Kite Shield, and Crossbow because we got full dragon now, and it looks really nice.
Yeah.
It does look cool. I do like Justiciar Armor. It does look cool, and I like the idea of having that tank armor. And then the Scythe of Vitur also looks pretty badass. And it's a super unique attack style, right?
Yep.
Hits 3 times on big monsters. So I might have to go with the Scythe of Vitur. Yeah, I don't know. Or the Dragon set. Or the Justiciar set. I don't know. We'll leave it up to the poll. To the votes. Next is Best Event. So Theater of Blood, the race to first completion. The bot busting stream, where they just
Ban bots on stream.
ban a bunch of bots. That was always cool. RuneFest 2018. PvP All-Stars Tournament. The Dragon Slayer lore video contest. And the Dead Man mode tournaments of 2018.
I will probably have to go with the bot busting streams. I really enjoyed that. Especially when, like, who was it? Mod Ronan? There was one of the mods I would be like, go to this area. And they'd, like, go to and the guy would have, like, mills on him. And you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
wait a minute. How does he have so much money? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And they all dressed up as bots.
Yeah.
Mod Sween and Mod Aiza, I believe the two of them were.
Yeah, rip.
Yeah.
But, and then by the end, you can just see, like, sweat clearly pooled in their caps.
Yeah.
And, like, they're dying.
Poor, that guy suffered a lot for all these events.
Actually, though.
Sweating profusely, being, like, dead tired.
The Dead Man PvP tournament, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Dead Man modes, like, they're fun. But there was always so much controversy. RuneFest was pretty cool. Minus the memes or the controversies that came out, like the whole Twitch Cosby meme, and ex RuneScape Twitch streamer Growscore versus Skidler. That epic
Were those
battle.
both related or no?
They were both happened at the timing of RuneFest, but they were two separate incidences.
So they had nothing to do with each other.
I hope not. No, I don't think so. No, they didn't. That would have been really messed up. But yeah, let's not go into that.
Yeah.
I'd probably say bot busting because that was actually like really like just a straight up fun. There was like nothing like fishy with terms of like Dead Man stuff.
Yeah,
like it was just like a good time.
Yeah, I agree. It was all for fun. I did. Yeah, I really like that one. My other one that I might vote for is the Theater of Blood race to first completion.
Yeah.
PvP All Stars was good. RuneFest is always good. Dead Man mode, I do enjoy those as well, but at this point, the other stuff are a little more fun because they're not as frequent.
Yeah.
Also, just made me realize we didn't get a data stream this year.
Nope.
At the end of the year, every time they do a data stream about this is what your average player is, the amount of money that came in, the amount of the average deaths per day. None of that. They didn't do that this year, so
yeah,
interesting.
I bet you it's like they definitely have their reasons. I want to say that like
Maybe just too busy.
well, because when they talk about total generated wealth, they're gonna have to really talk about the mod Jed. Like, there's probably legal reasons, like, you know what I mean? Because like billions and billions got added to the game by Jagex,
Yeah.
by the people that got scammed or hacked by Jed.
Yeah, true. And also, but then the leaving because of the duel arena, right?
Yeah.
So, but I would have loved to see how much money left because of the duel arena at this point.
Yeah.
The new taxing.
I mean, I think they'll have a poll or for like next year and stuff like that. Not a poll, a status stream. They might even have one like later on in the year.
Yeah, because it was always Matt K, which seemed to have done it on his free time.
Yeah.
Because remember, I think last year he just did it from home. Yeah, I think he did.
I have no idea. Yeah, I don't really know. But I honestly want to say there's probably some NDA stuff.
Yeah, possibly. Next category is Best In-Game Event. So these are the 5-year anniversary of Oldschool RuneScape, the Easter event, April Fool's Dev Blog, the Halloween event, and the Christmas event.
5-year anniversary, probably.
Yeah, that was pretty good. April Fool's was all right.
Well, the 5-year, didn't that come out with also that documentary? Or am I getting
that was a
timelines?
couple years ago. The 15 years.
Oh, I thought that came in line with the 5-year.
In 2016 it came out.
Oh, wow. Whoa, that's weird. What were the other events? The
5-year Easter event, April Fool's Dev Blog, Halloween, and Christmas.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna stick with the 5-year.
The 5-year was pretty cool. They had all the newest updates that had happened
Yeah.
in old school RuneScape, like all the unique ones down in the basement of the party room.
Yep.
You're also able to get the sword from the skeleton in the night.
Yeah.
So I have to go with that. I'll agree with you there, or maybe the April Fool's event, a dev blog, but it wasn't in game, so it kind of loses points for that because they did in game stuff every other year.
Yeah.
The best nerf / buff. There's a few of these to go through as well. The Vorkath drop table rebalance.
X4. Like they did it like so many times.
Yeah. The pickpocketing, mainly people were concerned about the Arty Knights.
Yep.
And they made it so you can't just spam click one spot. Theater of Blood team size scaling. So now it's monsters are weaker if you have 3 people versus 5. Dual arena attacks. The new official wikis. The changes to the birds' nests, which took them from a lot of boss tables, as well as rebalancing the way they are from bird houses on Fossil Island. Rune pouch added to the Slayer store. The Rev Cave drop rates rebalance. Dragon Hunter crossbow buff. The 150 total level requirement for clan chats. Angler fish overhealing. Now they are not available in PvP or Bounty Hunter worlds. And the energy transfer spell, also not available in PvP / Bounty Hunter worlds.
Do you remember people that used to make money transferring energy
Yeah, that was...
and venging? Like,
Yeah. I remember that being a thing way back before old school RuneScape.
yeah. So, personally, my favorite was the thieving, the pickpocketing Arty Knights, only because I think at this point in the game, I was grinding super hard to get a bunch of elites done. I was like deep in that elite grind. And then they announced Arty Knights.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's this update's gonna drop in like 3 weeks, and then I waited until like the last week, and I did like here and there, and then I had it set up so it's like, okay, let me just like pickpocket for like 3 or 4 days straight. I'll hit 99 just before this nerf kit comes out. And every time I like think of Arty Knights, I'm gonna be so happy I did it before they changed it. And that's so true. Like I got the 99 before the update, and I was like, oh, thank God. But for the game itself, I think like the dual arena tax is like huge.
Yeah, I agree. The dual arena tax is probably one of the big ones. That's what I might go with. Or I was gonna say the Dragon Hunter crossbow buff, only because it was kind of crazy to watch it go from like 5 mil.
Well, it went from 20 to like up to 150. I bought mine at like 50 and sold mine at 120-ish. Like, yeah. I made a lot of money off that bad boy. And I got a lot of easy kills on Ohm with it and Vorkath.
Yeah, true.
That was like my most successful merch, I think. It's just one of them.
I'm probably gonna go with the dual arena tax.
Yeah. It's so necessary for the game that, yeah.
Yeah, and so much money's leaving the game because of it.
Yep.
And it makes staking less viable, which is like, it really shouldn't be. It's gambling, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, next is the best RuneFest announcement. So we have Cabos Lowlands, Farming Guild, Warding Skill, Song of the Elves quest, and PvP, which is more all-star tournaments, and the bounties, plus some of the reworking they wanted to do.
I don't know, because I don't see this is the thing. Like, I don't want to be super negative because it's new year, new me. You know, that whole meme. But like I've complained about almost all of these in terms of the issues, but I like kind of the discussions that Warding brought up between some people. Most people were like, I don't want a new skill.
Yeah.
So like, I want a new skill, but like
Link's Titan.
Link's
God, please, no.
just sweating lasagna sauce, pasta
That was
sauce.
free.
I'd say Warding interested me the most. like I'm not the biggest fan of all the like I have issues with all the updates in terms of like what they're going to do to the game. And I'm going to say warding just because like at face like the RuneFest announcement, I think warding's really bad, but even if this doesn't pass, it should shed light on what would make a good new skill.
Yeah.
Because there's like, in my opinion, there's like major issues with everything. PvP is super safe though, in terms of like tournaments and stuff like that. So I'm not going to be super negative. I'll say PvP, but yeah, my highest hopes would be like the stuff surrounding warding, but not warding exactly.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I think mine might have to be the Song of the Elves quest, only because with what you said about Dragon Slayer 2,
Yeah.
I'm kind of expecting the standards to be that way with this one. We get a new city opened up, and that gauntlet challenge, which is like this new arena type of thing. And I love the idea of crystal armor. I'd love to see what they're going to do with that and how it's actually going to look.
Do you think like you'll just see your character in like undergarments, like just glass, and then like if you're playing a female, you just like bra and underwear? Zahara just has a heyday on the artwork.
Shit, there's so much design.
Yeah.
And now everyone's favorite category. Never know how to name this one. So, biggest controversial moment. I wanted to put favorite controversial moment or best controversial moment, but then that gets a little bit weird.
Yeah.
So, which controversial moment stands out to you, I suppose?
Well,
I don't know.
Ma Jed.
Well, yeah, that's a problem. I wish that one wasn't. There's so many good ones this year.
Someone could be going to jail over gold in a video game because he worked at a company and did really illegal stuff over gold in a video game.
Yeah.
What a world we live in. 2018, guy. Well, it's 2019, but in 2018.
I wish this didn't happen this year because there's so many other good ones.
Yeah.
So let's just run through the list. Vorkath drop table.
Wait. You should name it second best controversial moment. Anyways, go on.
Maybe, yeah. Just do another category with... so Vorkath drop table. Pretty tame. The YouTuber A Friend having all of his accounts banned due to a gambling advertising.
And like real world trading, technically.
Yeah. The membership price increases. World 47, which was a regular world, and for like 5 minutes it got converted to a world that had the dead man mode rules on it.
Yeah.
So regular accounts are gaining tons of experience. You could kill anyone anywhere, and if you died, you lost experience. So there's that one account who had 99 Herblore, and he had 98 Herblore now, but he still had the quest cape. The RuneLite attempted shutdown. So the whole third-party client issue when Jagex was trying to shut down RuneLite, basically. RuneScape Classic closing. The bug that caused 2.1 bill GP to be dropped when you had a stackable item and you killed someone. So if you were PvPing and you killed someone that had runes on them, they would drop a max cash stack.
Was it stackable, or was it items that would be converted into gold on death, like barrel gloves?
I thought it was like stackable items, but maybe you could be right.
Yeah, I always thought it was untradables that turned into gold.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was based on how the Artie Knight rework, you get the coin bags.
Yeah.
And then what would happen if you died? Well, it's turn them into gold. Whoops, max stash, max cash stack, uh-oh.
Either way, some items turned to max cash stacks and people were buying bonds with it.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting banned, I believe.
And there's a lot of people that got away with it, though.
Really?
Because what they would do is they go to gold farming sites, and they'd sell the gold.
I think they rolled back all the servers.
But not, like, if you're selling gold,
Oh, then
that's
you still
the
get
thing.
the money. Yeah, okay.
Like, they give you money. But then people also got away with it by, well, not, when I say people, I don't mean like 1,000. I mean, there's probably like 5 people that, like, did something different, like instantly go to a swapping clan or something,
Yeah.
and swap to RS3 and then do shit in RS3. I heard like some people got away with that, but then mainly like the gold selling sites, people were like let's go. How much can you buy? You know what I mean? 20-30% cheaper. Let's go. I need this gone now. Oh, okay.
Interesting. Yeah, okay. The next one we have is the Twitch promo, which gave early access to the purple colored skin.
Mm-hmm. You know how much I love early access, so yeah.
I might have to rename this one, but currently I have the Runefest sexual harassment / drama.
Yeah. Twitch Cosby versus Groscore.
Yeah.
Even though they weren't related, but happened at the same time.
So Runefest drama in its entirety. And then last but not least, Mod Jed.
So Mod Jed wins, obviously, but other than that, like, it's hard.
This is a big
You
one.
put it in a list, and you're like, dude,
This was a
Jagex,
funky year.
you fucked up. But the player base has grown like 30%.
Yeah.
Look at how many times you fucked up, Jagex. But the player base has grown. Like, Blizzard fucks up. They don't do anything about it. And, like WoW's at an all-time low.
Mm-hmm.
And they're being really... Because like, the new expansion's just garbage. And they refuse to, like, fix it. That's really tough. Because it's, like, the max cash stack was pretty nuts.
The Dead Man Mode World one was pretty nuts as well, though.
But only, like, one person really got affected. The other people that claimed to be affected were bots or Venezuelans.
Yeah.
But then, like, they had to, like, shut down the servers for a day and fix it.
Rune Light client being shut down was also another juicy one.
It's hard. You know what? It would be best if we split this up between biggest community controversial and, like, game. Because, there's so many big ones that happened in the gaming, like, in Jagex, like, in RuneScape. But then, like, depending on how much you're invested in the community aspect,
Yeah.
it's like, the RuneLight thing was pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, if we go back, I think we did a timeline, but, like, the guy, like, running OS Buddy, one of the guys who's done a lot of sketchy shit in the past, clearly was like, I'm losing business, Jagex, shut him down.
Yeah.
And then he was like, don't worry, guys, I'll make part of my client open source, because everyone just, you know what I mean? Like, but, you know, like, it was such a big fiasco. Like, the way it could have easily killed a huge part of the community. Like, I could have seen so many people quitting over this.
Yeah.
Not because, like, RuneLight wouldn't be around, but because, like, Jagex is being endorsed by a third-party client and being paid off pretty much.
Yeah. That's what it came out as being, yeah.
But then, like, in-game stuff, like, fuck, it's so hard.
So many good ones.
Keep in mind, we're not talking about how a JMod might be going to jail for a long time. Like, we're keeping that one out of the equation. Man, which one are you gonna go with? Because I have no idea. There's so many good ones this year.
That's it. Looking like, obviously Mod Jed we've had that saga going on for a while,
Yeah,
so it's dear to our hearts in a way.
but the thing that boggles my mind is that, like, we're just saying the RuneFest fiasco, and it's kind of a lot to go into right now. But, like, that developed over the course of, like, 2-3 weeks. I think we probably have episodes dedicated to it when it happened. Like,
I think you touched on it, because I didn't even really realize too much of what was going on. And, yeah.
The main thing is that, like, it was really, like, shitty for, like, the community. It was the biggest slap in the face, being like, if you want the full RuneScape experience, Jagex is telling you have to pay for it.
What do you mean?
Because the main issue was that OS Buddy was like, everyone was like kind of fine with it, was content, but it's like,
Oh, you said Runefest fiasco.
oh, sorry, I meant to say RuneLight.
Okay.
With the RuneLight fiasco, it was like, yeah, like OS Buddy, you know, Pro specifically had all these really cool features, but in terms of your FPS, you know, all this stuff, all these weird little issues, and you gotta pay for it, and you're like, ugh. And then RuneLight comes along, improves it, has more features, has, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And then they're like, yeah, no more open source, no more, but all the other clients can stay. Excellent. You'll get banned, maybe, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, like, you know what I mean? It was very targeted towards clearly, like, imagine if Uber and Lyft came about, and then the government was like,
Shut down only one of them.
or like, no, it was like, you have to use taxis.
Well, I think the crazy part about it would be like Uber and Lyft are out there, and then the government comes out and says you can't use Lyft. But it's like the same thing but cheaper. It's like, yeah, well, too bad. Uber's paying us extra money.
Well, it's kind of the thing with like when Uber first came out and the taxi, at least in Toronto, there's taxi drivers attacking Uber drivers in the streets.
Yeah.
And they were trying to get like laws passed so you couldn't have rideshare apps and stuff like that. I don't know. I might just go with Rune Light Fiasco. Because that had potential. Like, the whole Max Cash was messed up, but they just shut the servers down for a day and fixed it.
Yeah.
And there was like, haha, that was funny, guys. But, like, this still kind of, I'm like, wow, that was actually...
Yeah, that was weird.
That was super messed up.
Yeah, and even the YouTuber Friends, all of his accounts being banned is kind of a good one if you follow him. But he is, or was at least, the biggest YouTuber for old school RuneScape.
Yeah, and the main thing is that...
It's just crazy to see his downfall.
But, like, now he's back to, like, his old self.
Yeah, it's kind of recovered.
He's definitely recovered, and he's doing, like, new content in terms of, like, he just released an Iron Man and Fremenic only series that's, like, you know, like, he clearly was like, okay, I have to, like, change my attitude towards the game and, like, how he makes his money. Because
things were seeming off with him for his last couple of videos, and then
his like last two hardcore Iron Man series, they were just awful.
Yeah,
and he was clearly just going through the motions, and was like, "I'm gonna get a big paycheck." Oh no, that was awful. Okay, I can redeem myself, and then he kind of, you know, respects what he does.
Yep, that's right. Let us know what you guys think. We're gonna have it out there on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord if you want to vote on it. But with all that being said, I would like to introduce our new segment, which I'm kind of excited to do. It's not going to be every single week, but whenever we can, we will drop it in. But yeah, this is the perfect week to do it. We're going to go back and revisit the dev blogs from when when RuneScape itself was first released. So we're going to be teleporting back in time to 2001, January 4th. The very first dev blog or update for RuneScape came out. The RuneScape beta is officially online. And it said, RuneScape is a massive 3D multiplayer adventure with monsters to kill, quests to complete, and treasures to win. You control your own character who will improve and become more powerful than you play. So that's all we have for this week. But the official launch of RuneScape... and it's only in its beta. Kind of crazy to see.
Goddamn early access games ripping us off.
But as we go through each of the dev blogs, it's going to be crazy to see what the game never had. I took a quick peek at some of them that are going to be coming up in the next couple weeks. And yeah, I just didn't realize things that were being like released and how the game was when it first came out, how bare bones it actually was. So a quick little segment that we will be introducing almost every week. Unfortunately, though, I think for the next 2 weeks, or next upcoming 2 weeks, there were no dev blogs, but they slowly get into the rhythm of a weekly dev blog as the months go on. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun to kind of time travel and see how things progressed in the game. But with that being said, let's jump into some quick, good old lore. There is a small tribe located at the southern tip of Turanwan. A diary tells how this small tribe and settlement came to be. Day 5. Another day of being lost in this terrible swamp. We can't go north again. The clans will track us down in the woods. Mortarium and his son, Little Onan, have been trying to catch some fish. They've had no luck catching anything in the sea, so now they're trying for eels in the swamp. At first, I thought I'd rather starve than eat something from out of this swamp. But it's been so long since we had food. Anything's got to be better than this. How did this swamp even form? It doesn't smell natural. That old gnome woman and her children seem to know something about it, but they're not telling. The daughter let slip that they're from some kind of settlement in the eastern mountains, though I've never heard of a gnome town there. Day 6. Mortarium and Onan are still having no luck catching eels. To be honest, I think we should go back north and take our chances with the clans. Nothing can possibly live down here. Day 7. A terrible night. Turns out something can live in the swamp after all. It came in the night. Some kind of colossal serpent, all fangs and lashing tail, spitting venom and breathing toxic fumes. It ate 5 of us before we were properly awake. I've said we should leave this place. I'd rather face the clans than be eaten by a giant snake. But that gnome woman's got a plan. I don't trust her. On the other hand, no one else has any ideas. Still, I really don't trust her. Day 8. That was the most horrific thing I've ever seen. The gnome woman had a plan, all right. If I'd realized what she was going to do, I'd have walked straight out on my own. She'd made us build a big campfire by the edge of the swamp where the snake appeared yesterday. As darkness fell, we gathered by the fire, waiting for the snake to return, which it did. When it rose out of the swamp, ready for another meal, there was a gnome woman holding little Rentos, her son. She shouted to get the snake's attention and held Rentos out for it to eat. He was screaming, but she didn't bat an eye. She handed him straight to the snake. 1 gulp later, and Rentos was gone. Then, the snake turned back to the gnome woman, and she spoke to it. I thought she'd get eaten for sure, and serve her right. But the snake listened to her. Turned out that was her plan. Feed little Rentos to the snake to get its attention, so she could offer a deal. And it worked. She promised the snake that if it let us live and didn't wipe us all out, we would bring it regular sacrifices. She even promised that we would worship the snake as our god, forsaking Saren, and we would be its people. Well, it seems to have worked. The snake retreated into the swamp, and we're all still alive, except for poor little Rentos. Day 9. Mortarium's finally caught some eels. They look and smell dreadful, as expected, but everyone's so hungry that we're going to eat them anyways. That crazy gnome woman says the eel must have been sent by the snake god. She thinks he's accepted her deal and is letting us live on the condition that we send him sacrifices. So she thinks the snake is sending us eels to feed us, so that we in turn can feed him. The horrible thing is that she seems to be right. The snake's kept away since she fed Rentos to it. Her daughter doesn't seem to mind either. I don't get it. If I had a brother and he got fed to a giant snake as a part of a demented bargain, I'd be screaming my head off. The girl must be as crazy as her mother. Day 10. It's the 3rd day since that gnome woman turned us into food farm for the giant snake, and every day I find more reasons to distrust her. She's taken over the whole group now, and is calling herself the High Priestess of Zulrah. Oh yes, she's decided the snake is called Zulrah. Can't imagine where she got that name from. Now she wants us all to change our names to honor Zulrah. So, I've got to call myself Zul-Own. Day 11. That crazy gnome woman says it's time to make another sacrifice to Zulrah. She made a big speech about what a great honor it would be for the chosen sacrifice, and how their death would form part of the contract between Zulrah and our people. The people are believing every word of it too. Some girl even shouted, "I volunteer as tribute!" But the High Priestess is going to choose the sacrifice this afternoon. Well, she'd better not choose me. If you don't know by now, this week for lore, we're going to be talking about Zulrah. It is unknown when or how Zulrah arrived at the area known as the Poison Waste, but it has adapted to the toxic waste surrounding it, eventually becoming the only creature able to live in the wastes. The gender of Zulrah is unknown. The High Priestess, Zul Harsinka, refers to it as a male, while others refer to Zulrah as a female. During the 5th Age, Harsinka's family visited the Poison Waste. During the 5th Age, a small group attempted to escape the elven clans by running south to the Poison Waste. When they got to the southern tip of Turanwan, they realized they were trapped. They had no food to eat and no way of escaping without running into the clans. They began to set up a small settlement and began to try to forage food and fish in the swamps nearby. This small tribe, known as Zulandra, had to decide whether to face this serpent or to face the elven clans. They decided by regularly sacrificing others to the serpent, they in turn would be safe. After Rentos, Harsinka's son, was sacrificed to the serpent, the next victim was a gnome child, which they gave the name as Sacrifice, as they felt he did not deserve a name himself. Thankfully, several adventurers who have discovered this place have agreed to take the place of the gnome child and offer themselves as the sacrifice in hopes of slaying this creature. Today, This small tribe now worships this serpent as their god. Adventurers continue to arrive and try to slay this mighty serpent. But until the day this serpent is finally killed, this tribe will continue to sacrifice their own when adventurers no longer arrive. And we're back, and now to kind of round up everything and to do a little bit of selling out as we go over to that grand exchange of ours. A few things that we're going to talk about. The first one is our Audible trial thing you can get. I don't even know what to call it, but it's a thing. And you can go to audibletrial.com/wild to get a free month of Audible and one free audiobook of your choosing. You get tokens every month, and you can kind of pick which ones you want. But if you decide to cancel your subscription at any time, even before your free trial is up, you do get to keep the books that you have purchased with your tokens. So go to audibletrial.com/wild. And next is Patreon. You can support the show directly by going to patreon.com/thewildernesspodcast. Our supporter of the week is Anthony Martinez. Thank you very much for directly supporting the show and letting us continue doing what we do as we go into our 2019 year.
Yep.
And thanks to everyone else who does support the show. You guys are amazing people, and we hope you guys are going to have a fantastic 2019. Anyone who's listening, great. Have a fantastic 2019. Hopefully you complete your resolutions. But we all know you're going to forget halfway through and probably put the same resolutions in for 2020.
Yep.
It's the way she goes.
Maybe set it like, I'm going to go to the gym for January. Because you know how
that's pretty good.
Like how gym memberships are super expensive in January because everyone goes to the gym for like the first month.
Oh, true. That's a good idea.
Yeah, they hike them up, and then that offsets they're still really expensive, but it offsets the costs for the rest of the year pretty much.
Man, that's smart. What scams?
Yeah. Hey, man, we do stuff like that kind of at our store. Not really, but...
Telling all the tricks to retail.
Yeah.
Anyways, as we get closer to the end of the show, we did get a few emails this week. So, our first one is from Phil MCD24, and he says, "Hey guys, love the podcast. I listen to it while I deliver pizzas. You guys talk about Group Iron Men. Why not just a non-GE version of Old School RuneScape? Bring back the good old days of the good old trading days." Fuck, I'm kind of craving pizza. Should order one after the show.
Yeah. Insert Papa John's ad right here. But you say that, you think you do, but you don't. Yeah. Honestly, back like when we were like all young, it was awesome, right? It was perfect. But when Old School first came out, the amount of people that had bots running to manipulate the market, the amount of like weird scams that went on. You know, it took me like 4 hours to buy a full set of blue D-hide. And while I was doing that, I watched Bodhi walk to the area, and then someone just gave him a free pair and ran away. And I remember watching that happen as I'm sitting there for like actually 4 hours with auto chat, just like buying full blue D-hide. Like it was literally the worst. Like it used to be really good when we were just like manually typing it. But it got to the point where you should just use Zybez and just buy flax or buy bowstring off bots.
Yeah, it was like a third-party grand exchange, basically.
Yeah, go meet up someone at their world, their spot, and now they're like trying to undercut you on like a really niche item. So you're kind of like, well, he's just gonna flip it. He's being such a dick right now, but I know he's just doing this to, you know what I mean? Like it was super obnoxious. Some of the stuff I had to go through. Where when the GE came around, I was like happy.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. It's pain in the ass to actually trade it. Like the idea of it's cool. I do miss bank sales. Like being younger, it was awesome to have bank sales all the time and seeing what they would be selling. Right.
The issue though is that like people would literally load up merchant bots and go to bed.
Yeah,
and then they would just do that. And I might be super negative towards it because I've like been playing Path of Exile and stuff, which doesn't have a grand exchange, and you have to use third-party sites to like find players and trade with them.
Yeah,
and trade chats and stuff if you want to get scammed. But the amount of like bots you encounter, the amount of people that like just try and like scam you or mess with you, or people that just don't respond. Like it's sometimes you're like trying to buy an item and it's like 30 minutes goes by, or like I'm trying to sell some shit, but I can't sell it because like it's not like, you know, oh, you want to sell like an Elder Mall, but you don't, you know what I mean, for this much. You just put it in the GE and you leave it, and you know you can wake up tomorrow and it's being sold.
Yeah.
But the idea of having to actively spend your free time trying to sell the item, like our free time is much more valuable now than it was when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's true. Good call. Yeah.
But if everyone was honest, like I would totally agree. But,
yeah. I guess times have changed and people are a lot more smarter about how to scam and manipulate things and
bot.
Yeah, bot.
Pay for membership on accounts just to manipulate prices.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever.
Bastards. Anyways, moving on to our next email is from Luke or Luck. Loic. Hey guys, it's Luck from the clan chat. Actually, I think it's just Luke. I have a couple of questions I would like your opinion on. Do you think it would be a good idea to shrink the amount of worlds there is to force people to play with each other? Sure, people might complain about not having enough space to do their things, but I think overall it would be a good idea. It would feel like there's more of an active... It would feel like it is more of an active game, and also it would be good for the community. My second question is, would you like to see a Veterans Cape introduced? Cheers, guys. Love the podcast. Keeps me awake when I'm at work.
So shrink the negatives to like reducing the amount of worlds is PVMing is more of a pain.
Yeah, a lot more crashing would go on at like God Wars and stuff.
PvPing would be a lot better though, Deep Wildy.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's a pro and a con. Because PVMing is kind of like the main focus for Jagex in general.
Most
like,
players,
just
yeah.
In general, like all the updates are kind of focused around PVMers and Iron Man and stuff. PvPers are always in the back burner, which must suck. So if they're able to provide alternatives that didn't ruin the market, like I do like the idea of like paying for instances, but gating, you know, you need Fremnik elites to do you get your own Dagonoth instance. You know what I mean? Instead of having like a Slayer and a non-Slayer for Dagonoths, the Kings. If they had alternatives like that like it would make it okay. But the main issue is when it comes to like skilling and whatnot, like you can talk with people at, you know, with like at wood, like at some trees, like at the woodcutting guild, you can generally find people like blood runes. When you're crafting blood runes, you can get into some good conversation and like fishing and whatnot. The fishing guild is like a easy place to chat with people. Mm-hmm. So there are pros and cons in terms of like casually bumping into people, but and then it helps with like PvP. But yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence. Mainly because like if they were like the thing is like it actually would change a lot. So if they, let's just say they cut like 20% of the worlds out, if they trimmed it down so like every world was like 1.5k total, you know what I mean? Like they're at like a pretty healthy capacity. PVM items would probably go up a lot in price because there's a lot more or a lot less being put into the game. So like there's a lot of effects that would happen, but I kind of think it would be good for the community in general to maybe have less worlds.
Yeah, I could see that. Less items coming in and stuff, yeah.
And just like for the casual player, like obviously PVM like crashers and stuff, that happens no matter what. Like you go to like some boss like Bandos, you'll find clans that literally crash. Like they world hop and they're in max slash accuracy with D-claws and they spec and they hop. That will always happen, so it's kind of like hard to, you know. But yeah, I don't know, I think it would be definitely interesting, I think.
What about a Veterans Cape?
I'm assuming it's the same as a completionist cape or veteran as in I've been playing this game for this long.
Yeah, because RuneScape 3 has that where it's like, what, 10 years your account, how old your account is? Or I think there's one for 5 years and then 10 years and probably 15 years now. Now that RuneScape's been out for 5 years, they could have a Veterans Cape, or if you made your account day one with them, you get that Veterans Cape. It's just a cosmetic that shows that you've been playing since the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be kind of cool. The only thing is, no, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. A big V? How about just a big V? I mean, I guess people would just call you a virgin instead of a veteran.
Yeah, most likely. And we got one last message from our Facebook. This one's also from Phil MCD24. I didn't really organize this too well, apparently. Anyways, he says, I'm a returning RuneScape player from back in the day and returned for mobile. I was just wondering what bosses I can fight solo as a low-level player besides Barrows. I'm 60 attack, 50 strength, 59 defense, 51 range, and 69 mage. Also, my Slayer is pretty low.
None. I mean, there are some demi-bosses you could kill.
You probably do Crazed Architect with magic, Ivan's Blast, but it's in the wilderness, so the risk of dying is there from PvPers.
Yeah, you're really limited on what you can actually kill. Sadly, if you want to just jump into it ASAP, the best thing to do is just grind range. And then from there, you can do like KBD, you can save swap Venenatis.
Crazed Fanatic.
Yeah.
Takes what, like Fanatic. 61 range you can start tempting it once you have Rune Crossbow?
Yeah. The guy on Fossil Island, like that demi-boss. Like,
the other archaeologist.
Yeah, so like once you get like 44 prayer and like 61 range, you can start getting into like the low tier bosses and start doing weird things like safe spotting Venenatis, which is in the wilderness though. But mainly, yeah, you don't really have too many options, which sucks. And you might not want to hear this, but you might also want to train your Slayer up because it gets to a point where you can't do not many bosses, but once you hit like base 70 or base like 85-ish with melee and stuff, then you can do like most bosses. Yeah. In my opinion, there's like a really weird threshold where you're like bottlenecked on which PVMing stuff you can do. And the stuff you can do, you don't really make money from, and it's highly contested and blah, 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 blah. But then you'll hit like a certain point that like opens up so many different types of bosses. But honestly, if you want to just like jump into PVMing, you want to just try a bunch, I would say get your range up as high as you can. 61 minimum, but like you do KBD and like 2 others, and like you don't make money from that unless you get really lucky. Mm-hmm. Like really, really lucky. But once you get to like 85 plus range, you could start doing Zilyana, and all you need is 70 agility alongside. And like agility is super nice because there's a lot of quests that you can get agility experience from. And you, like, I say it all the time, but you really should, like, if you want to like get some gains and stuff and you want to progress in like an efficient manner, doing quests and like barrow gloves and fire cape, like quests and stuff in general is really good because you open up a lot of like different areas and ways to travel and just free experience and all this stuff. But yeah, like you could get your range up, get your agility up a bit, which just helps for everything. Get that graceful at the same time. Yeah. And then like Zilyana, you can solo. And from there, like if you want to, I don't know if you're only playing on mobile, but you can kill Zilyana on mobile. If you have 2 people, like it's an easy boss if you range. The main strat is just run in a circle and hit it. You can figure it out pretty easily. And you can get like 7 kills a trip if you first start learning it, which isn't the most, but considering it's like a God Wars boss, that's really good for soloing, especially at a lower level. Yeah. And then it would also be good to just get range as well with magic, because once you level up magic, you can use that on like Scorpia, also some of the other demi bosses, but like 85 magic and like 75 range people recommend. And then you could start looking at Zulrah, which is super difficult to learn. Like it'll take you a lot of attempts,
but your skill for PVMing will be so much better once you can actually kill them.
Yeah, because like every boss you'll fight up until Zulrah is essentially like, don't get hit, don't get hit, don't get hit. Can I hit him? Can I hit him? Can I hit him? Yeah. And then Zulrah is like, okay, let me memorize this. Let me do these mechanics. Mm-hmm. But last thing about good reason to level up range is that you also could, while you're doing that, do quests towards Dragon Slayer 2 and do Vorkath, which is easier than Zulrah. You get more money out of him. He's pretty cool. And it feel like you kind of feel like a badass when you first start learning and grinding out Vorkath. Yeah. especially if you're new to PVMing. Like, you're like, look at all this money I'm making. You're able to progress your account super fast. It's not that bad of range experience, especially how much money you're making. But yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for that.
I would say if you wanted to actually just tackle some bosses, there's the free-to-play bosses that are available. Obor, Byrofita, I would say just get, 43 prayer? And you can probably just jump right in and fight them.
Yeah, Obor, 40 prayer, and then, like, you have to mage him 40 prayer, and then be able to, like, do snare pretty much, and then whatever your best mage spell is.
So yeah, if you want to really just dip your toes ASAP, those ones are available. They're just... Yeah, they're just they're simpler, right? They're meant for free to play, but yeah, they're there. So thanks, guys, for writing in. I do appreciate the emails. They're always fun to look through them and answer whatever questions that are being asked. And before we get into all of our plugs, we are having a trivia night coming up on Saturday, so January 12th at 7 p.m. EST. We'll be asking some questions. There's a ton of rewards to be given away. Chick, the user Chick, you may recognize his name. He has helped me organizing this, and he has pitched 4 bonds to be given away, as well as Thunderslay donated 15 mil. So we'll be giving that away as well to the winners. Multiple winners, too. So you don't have to just come first place to win it all.
Can I participate in this? Make some easy GP.
Just come and just rack up all the money. Yeah, keep an eye out on our events tab in Discord for all the information for that one. And yeah, if you want to get in contact with us or hang out with us in-game, you can join our clan chat, which is WildCC. Our email is thewildernesspodcast@gmail.com. Our Facebook is facebook.com/thewildernesspodcast. We also have a group that's linked in there as well. Our Twitter is @thewildernessrs. And our Discord is linked on the Facebook and Twitter page. God, there's so much this episode. I feel like we're missing something. But anyways, our song of the week was submitted in to us from Twittiker, aka Kaboom, who said, "Could you play the song Dynasty? Been blackjacking, so it's been in my head."
But not in the bandits. Badoom. Because you're knocking them out. Okay. Swinging. It's okay. Starting off a little weak this year, but...
It's only up to go from here.
Yeah.
So Dynasty is a music track that is unlocked when you get near Polvanich. Came out April 4th, 2006. Composed by Ian Taylor. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, thanks for hanging out for this year. You know, listening. Welcome to all the new viewers and all that. We made actually like a lot of improvements to the pod in terms of equipment.
Yeah?
I think.
Yeah, I can't remember when we started adding sound effects and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of just happened.
It's a crazy journey this thing has been.
Yeah, I wonder what we're gonna do for this year.
Well, we got that new segment we added.
Yeah,
that one new segment. But yeah. Thanks for hanging in there with us, and we hope 2018 is good, and we hope 2019 is even better.
Yep.
So thanks, guys. And yeah, submit your resolutions if you've got them, and we'll check back in a year. But till then, we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, have a good one.
Take care, everybody.